Strap into your seats and get ready. It's time for the Mortarpod.
Hey, it's Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com. Welcome to this week's episode of the Mortarpod. Jake and I just finished doing a Dragon's Maze release event yesterday. During this podcast, we had just finished a Friday Night Magic. That was the first that included Dragon's Maze, but it was a draft event, and it was triple Dragon's Maze. So it was a little bit unusual, but it was fun. I went 3-1, so I discussed the deck that I played. I want to also remind you the Mortarpod is brought to you by SeemsGoodMagic.com, my official website, where it's got plenty of draft videos and articles and an eBay store. But recently I just started doing a blog, so I started it just to give people a little more indication about what I'm doing in paper magic, because it seems like the rest of the website is more about all of my Magic Online escapades. But so paper magic, if you want to find out what I'm playing and the decks that I play and just a little bit more about myself, read the blog, find out some stuff. So you can message me if you have any comments about this podcast, or SeemsGoodMagic.com. You can reach me at mortarpod@SeemsGoodMagic.com. That's a good way to do it. You can also reach me via the contact tab at SeemsGoodMagic.com. Click on that and message, and I read those as well. So I'd love to hear from you guys. You can follow us on Twitter at SeemsGoodMagic. I recommend you do that. You see when we're live streaming, when I put up a new draft video. Current live stream times are Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time. I've been pretty good about that. I've kept up with it. So, we haven't missed a day yet, and I appreciate all you guys that have stopped out and talked to us when we're live streaming. I really appreciate it. It's really cool to hear from you guys. This podcast is also brought to you by VerenCamp.com. That's VerenKamp.com. Scott Verencamp designed our website. He did an excellent job. I love giving him credit for that. So I recommend, if you want some web design work, check him out. He does a great job. All right, without further ado, enjoy this week's installment of the Mortarpod. Okay, welcome to this week's episode of the Mortarpod. Jake and I joining you here. Dragon's Maze release weekend. Very exciting. Mm-hmm. I did triple Dragon's Maze draft yesterday, and I was just going over my deck list with Jake. I did just put it in a blog, though, so I can go to SeemsGoodMagic.com and bring that up and show you the deck list written out. So, audio listeners, I'll read it out loud to you. Creatures were Skylasher, Crawl Warrior, Woodlock Crawler, 3 Beetleform Mage, a Battering Krasis, a Thrashing Moss Dog, Ubulsar Gatekeepers, which are the black ones, Species Gorger, Haunter of Nightvale, Karazda Gorgon, Maze Glider, and then the spells were 2 Warped Physique, 1 Runner's Bane, 1 Hidden Strings, 1 Far and Away, 1 Turn and Burn, 1 Putrefy, 1 Krasis Incubation, 1 Fatal Fumes. And then my lands, I had 3 Guildgates, Izzet, Golgari, Dimir, and the Izzet one was my only source of red, so I could actually play Burn on Turn and Burn. And then the rest of the land base was 5 islands, 5 forests, 4 swamps. I like the deck. I mentioned in the blog that the problem with it was that it was like a perfect mix of the 3 colors. So the mana base really suffered because of that. So I wasn't very conscious of that during the draft, and I should have been, because it's pretty important. I mean, it's very difficult, and I also mentioned this in the blog, how difficult it is when you're doing paper magic and you're used to all your online drafting, because you don't get your hand held at all. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You don't get to look at like the mana cost. You have to remember the mana cost, the colors you have, how many creatures, how many spells. You have to remember all that. Yep. And you only get 3 chances to look at in competitive, like, you know,
Yeah,
drafting.
true competitive drafting, you only get those
3
chances
opportunities.
between
Yeah, you get
packs.
3 opportunities to look at it, and it's in between each pack. So it's really like 2 opportunities. Because you open your first pack, you look, open your second pack, look, and then you open your third pack and you're done. So you really get 2 chances to look at your deck before it's complete. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a good memory. But I was still happy with the way that it turned out. My creature base was pretty lackluster, minus the Beetle Form Mages, which just did huge amounts of work for me. I love that card. What else did I like? The Gatekeepers are tough to activate.
They are. That was my experience with them too, and even having access to a guild gate out of each pack guaranteed,
Yeah.
and sometimes even 2, I believe.
Yeah, in the Dragon's Maze packs, for sure.
It's just strange that it's so hard to activate them, but it
Yeah.
is. And, like, I think that they're going to be a creature that we're all going to have to learn, if you haven't already, to just suck it up and play them on turn 4 sometimes. You know, like, during the pre-release, that was my problem, was that I was trying to hold on to it, and it's like, what is the real value of getting a 2/4 with an ability at this point, now that I've taken, like, so much damage?
No, I absolutely agree. There were so many times yesterday that I was like, where is that second guild gate?
Yeah.
Because it was like, I had multiple times where people were beating me down with the Woodlock Crawler, and that one's, well, I'll just look it up, why not? Woodlock Crawler is 2 mana, 2/1 Forest Walk Pro Green creature. So I have Forest in my deck, so he was beating me down pretty good. But Ubulsar Gatekeepers happens to be a really good out against him. But I just couldn't get him online with three guild gates. I just couldn't get him online. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
You really need like 5, and then you can hit it pretty consistently, I would think.
But until that point, I would consider them as a 2/4 for 4 in my deck, and then sometimes they might have an added bonus.
I think actually they're just bad now, because in full block I'm thinking of places where they're really good. I like it alongside Gatecreeper Vine a lot. Any Gatekeeper alongside the Gatecreeper Vine, because then really you could have like 3 gates and then like a Gatecreeper Vine and have 4 ways to get to 2 of them out.
They're not bad cards, just being 4 mana 2/4s.
Yeah.
You know, that's
it's acceptable.
Like, that's something that you will pay for a vanilla 2/4. You know, and in some colors like white, that's been done before for sure, and blue also. And it's a little more weird in red and green. Well, not green so much. Kind of, because the power should be there too for green. But like black, I would also expect that kind of off, you know, unbalanced power toughness. So it's not like a far stretch for any of these colors to just play them. But yeah, I think it's.
I was gonna say that they work well along this card if you have them turn on. Species Gorger is a 5 mana 6/6, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, you have to return a creature you control to
This
its own
card's
hand.
just good for Simic with Evolve anyway.
Yeah, because it can bounce itself.
Yeah.
So at least you don't have to like sack it or anything. But I mean, it's a green and a blue in 3 colors, so it definitely puts you in Simic, or it's a Simic card. I played it yesterday. I thought it was okay. I wasn't like disappointed with it. You know, it's kind of like the Roaring Primodox.
Yep.
It's just a mana more, and you get another
2 power.
2 power and toughness.
Yeah. It's kind of like the mashup between Roaring Primodox and a Sea Serpent. You know, like it's giant, but with a downside that keeps it from potentially attacking every turn.
Yeah, it's true. Worked really well with the Maze Glider, because then it was a huge flyer.
Also good with Behemoth then too, and just being
but in any of the Enter the Battlefield effects or whatever. So what else was sweet in that deck? Haunter of Nightvale. I want to talk about this card for limited. Really liked it. Feels really good. Very powerful. I can imagine in multiples this card just being like insanely good. So I really dug it. It strikes me as a card that they originally put flying on, and then they were like, it's a little too good.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that at least, because this card is shown floating in the air, which is fine.
It's a picture of like a spirit
it's a
with
spirit.
Purple energy force of some sort.
Some sort of debilitating miasma.
Yeah, circling around him. Looks pretty cool.
It is cool.
But he's a strong card. I like him. He's in multiples. He's just insane. Just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
-2,
Maybe.
-0 to your opponent's team. That's just like you're gonna win every combat. You
Mhm.
can win any race. So he really sets in limited. He really sets your opponent behind.
Yeah.
Don't expect to get him too often unless you're doing a triple Dragon's Maze draft.
This guy with
So
Progenitor Mimic would be really sweet.
yeah, just keep making them weaker so
Yeah.
that they can't kill you with creatures. That would be crazy. That Progenitor Mimic is sick.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do I want to talk about? So I do like that card quite a bit for limited so far. I'm digging it. Beetleform Mage. I do want to talk about this card because Jake and I are constantly referring to these cards, and we've always high picked them in limited. So the first example that I can remember is Dark Thicket Wolf. I think that's when they first like. There might be older examples
There
that
are.
I'm just not thinking of.
Like Basking Rootwalla is in the same vein, and also Rootwalla, the original, which is the original.
That's
3
true.
mana 2/2 with 3 mana pump 2/2 and only once per turn.
Oh, okay.
I think that was
That's
it
cool.
was like straight up even.
So
like that.
Beetleform Mage feels like it's like the final evolution of it because this card is a
Mhm.
3 mana 2/2, and you pay a green and a blue, and it gets +2/+2 and gains flying until end of turn. It's very, very good. I
Yeah.
had 3 of them, so they're a little bit slow. I could see if you're like falling behind a little bit, they could be slow, but still, like on turn 4, leaving up 2 mana to have a 4/4 flying blocker if you have to. This card is insanely good, and I think it's a very high pick. I was very happy to have 3 of them yesterday. There were times where I was like, had 2 out and had the mana to do both of them. So it's like swing for
Mhm.
8.
That's crazy.
And then if they have like hidden strings on it, untap them again.
I like this art, but I think I would have liked to have seen the Beetleform Mage from a different angle.
Yeah, is that his back?
Yeah,
Or no, that's
the
his
back of
face
his
here.
head. Yeah,
I
it's
think that's
turned
his
like
face.
it's turned like that.
I think he's like smiling though.
No, you've got a picture right here. It's weird. His mouthpiece is actually very strange.
Well, I don't get it. What is it? Oh, wait, that's how his mouth's working? Okay, I think I looked at this card wrong. Maybe. Or maybe he just what's that thing coming out of the side of his face? I can't tell.
That's
It's a
like
crazy
his
picture.
mouth,
It's
dude.
definitely well it's a human insect wizard, so it's a very strange creature type, but that's how
Yeah.
Simic is. The funny thing is human insect is also a Delver of Secrets,
Yeah.
so maybe
Delver
in
Beetleform
human
Mage,
insect deck around the corner?
Can't wait for that.
Yeah. I think they need a few more. There's also human ooze. You could do all the weird human
Yeah.
weird
Human
hu-
mashups.
weird
The
human
monster mashups.
Yeah, because
There we go.
that's sweet because you can also do Mayor of Averbrook because he's like a monster
Yeah,
too. You know
yeah,
what I
and
mean?
he's human werewolf. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
That's
That is sweet. All the werewolves would count then for sure.
That's really cool. We're gonna have
I'll
to do
make
that.
that Halloween.
We're already excited about it. Warp Physique played really well. I want to talk about that. I can see a spot where it'd be bad, but it's a Dimir card, 2 mana. Target creature gets +X/-X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. It's cool. It's a strong card. I really liked it a lot on turn 2. There were times where I had a lot of like 3, 4, 5 in my hand, and it just felt really good if they had like an aggressive start. I can see where it's bad though. If you top deck it and you don't have any cards in hand, it's actually like nothing. So there is that. But the fact that you can also use it as like a pump spell randomly is very cool, and it's a controllable one too, so you can really maximize how much you're buffing a creature.
Yeah.
Potentially.
This card like benefits from having some extra access to cards somehow, either drawing or bouncing something.
Mm-hmm.
So like Species Gorger and this card work really well together because you can always have 2 extra cards in your hand each turn, one from drawing and one from bouncing.
That's true. That's a good point. But I liked it. I think this is a good card. It's an uncommon, which I actually find strange now that I think about it. I guess because
I think
it doubles.
Common, it's like actually really, really good, don't you?
I don't know. Not really.
If you had access to 3 of these, let's say.
It's like murder was common, right?
Yeah.
And like terror common. Dark banishing. And this is
Doomblade,
this is multicolor. I
But
don't
this
know. I
does
think
remove a lot more.
I just think because it doubles as a pump spell. That's the only reason they made it uncommon. I think because it actually has
Yeah.
double value of being both good on
I
attack and good
actually
on defense.
find it strange that it is a pump spell. You know, it
Um,
must be the black aspect of it, but
But
then like
it's
what?
also like not unstable mutation, or is it unstable mutation?
No, it's
You know which one I'm talking about?
erratic mutation.
Erratic mutation. I feel like this is in that same vein.
It's definitely like even
Similar
the picture,
pictures, yeah.
like harkens back to it.
Erratic mutation was 3 mana planar chaos card. Choose target creature, reveal cards from the top of your library, and 2 reveal a non-land card. That creature gets +X/-X until end of turn, where X is that card's converted mana cost.
This card is so good.
Put all cards revealed this way on the bottom of your library in any order. It was highly playable and limited.
Hmm.
But this was a planar chaos card, so I guess you're right to a certain extent. Planar chaos was the set where they broke color pie on all the colors.
The thing is that blue should get really should get the power like reducing effects. That's where blue should be. So like it should have just straight up been -X/-X with warped devotion.
Yeah, I
Or
guess that's
warped
true.
physique.
I don't really like the idea of blue having access to removal like this because it feels really
if
good.
anything, it should have been reduces power and raises toughness for blue. Like that would have been the correct way to do it. But this was a way to
But-
break the color pie in Planar Chaos for sure.
Yeah, and
And this was a fun card when
so
blue
what color?
had it.
So was it black? Well, like what color? What do you think
That's
it was?
a black effect.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. So this one is black, right? So I think they did this card right.
I just
Oh, giving
You know.
see, giving blue plus seems strange to you.
it's fine because
I guess
because it
it's-
also counts the number of cards.
I feel
in your
like
hand.
that's kind of a shout out to Unstable Mutation, which is like a super old card,
Yeah.
and that's a 1 blue enchanted creature gets +3/+3, and at the beginning of your upkeep.
Yeah.
You
And
have
they
to put a
actually
muscle
had
muscle
Cunning
counter on it.
as well. Was a blue card.
Is that from Alpha Unstable Mutation?
Yeah,
Or?
I believe. It
I
could
guess
be
we
from
can look.
Arabian Nights. No, it was in Arabian Nights and then reprinted and revised.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah,
So
that is
Arabian
very
Nights was the
interesting.
first set, though, right?
Arabian
Oh.
Nights was the first expansion.
Oh, okay.
Truly in the way that we see an expansion now,
Yeah,
not part of the core set.
I guess that's what I meant. I used the wrong word. Because they had like the original core sets were
they
like
had alpha,
and-
beta,
yeah.
and I believe even Unlimited must have been out before Arabian Nights came out.
What else in the deck did I like? Crisis Incubation. We'll talk about this card because it's very good. I like it quite a bit. It's cool that you can just use it as a 7. It's very versatile actually because it's a card that you want to hold, and then late game, if you have enough mana, maybe you can use its second ability and be happy too. But it's 2 colorless, a green and a blue. Enchanted creature can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. And then you can pay 3 mana and return it to its owner's hand, and you put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, on the enchanted creature. So really, it's like pacifism,
It's a pacifism.
but
Or an arrest, actually.
yeah, you're right. Better than pacifism.
Yeah.
So it's an arrest that also you can return and pump a creature with. So it's like a 7 mana +2/+2 counters on a creature you control, or it's a 4 mana like arrest.
And you can even
Very versatile.
yeah, you can even play it on something that's annoying early, and then if you see something else that's obnoxious, you can bounce it. There are ways to do that. And with Bioshift in the format, you could actually move those counters that you put on the creature you bounce this from onto the creature that you newly enchanted.
Yeah, that's true.
So Bioshift actually allows for this to be even more playable as a repeatable arrest.
That's cool. I like that. I think this is a very powerful card.
I like it a lot.
It's very powerful in the color combination. Green and blue usually don't have access to an arrest effect. There are some exceptions.
Actually,
Lost in
there's-
Thought is the blue one.
Blue has Volrath's Curse also, but even beyond that, the tap down effect. Entangling Vines, and
That's their
yeah.
thing usually. That's why this is kind of an exception to
yeah,
that.
and that's why I think that they felt they could move just a little further into that because it's a combination of both. It's at 4 mana.
But I mean, it's been in blue before. Like
hmm
Lost in Thought and Judgment was Arrest, I think, right?
Yeah, it just doesn't.
With the
Yeah,
downside,
yeah,
but
it
still.
just doesn't come around a lot, and there's usually a way out of it with blue. They can break out of it. It's more like kind of more like trapped with the spell, whereas with white, I think the idea is that you're actually physically detaining something.
hmm I think this card plays really well in conjunction with Pit Fight too,
hmm
because it's like, you know, well, let me think about this. Does this go on the stack to put 2+1/+1?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, because
So it'd be
because
really
there's a coal in it.
so
you'll
it'd be
use this
really
guy.
cool if you had this on a guy already, an opponent's creature, and then you have you draw a Pit Fight. You can return it to its owner's hand, and would it go back to your hand?
It goes back first as part of the cost,
Cost,
and then
and then
the
Pit
ability
Fight in.
triggers.
So put Pit Fight in response to the 2+1/+1
Yeah.
counters,
And it's
you could.
actually perfectly in line with like playing it and then doing it the following turn just to arrest that creature for that turn.
That's really cool though. I
Yeah.
like that. So I think this is a very powerful card, and it's going to be very first pickable
hmm
actually, even though it's 4 mana and it does devote you to 2 colors. I don't know. So far, I'm very impressed with it though.
I
I
like
like
it.
it.
If you want to go down Simic and that's in your pack, it's a good one to start with.
Here's like Jake's favorite card, probably from
Yeah, this
favorite
card is
removal
very
spell.
strong.
Yeah, you can talk about Far and Away. I got the chance to play with it too. I really liked it a lot.
On
You want to
the
read what it does?
pre-release date, oh yeah. During the pre-release I had 2 of these.
Hmm.
Far is
Nice.
it's a split card with Fuse, so that means you can play them separate or together. Far is a 2 mana, 1 colorless, 1 blue, instant return target creature to its owner's hand, and Away is a 2 colorless, 1 black, instant target player sacrifices a creature. So like I unfortunately was getting in the habit of like just doing Far and Away, choosing my targets in the way that they would have to do it because they only had 2 creatures out. So like people are like, now you target me with that, okay, and then sacrifice that creature because that's the last one you got. Anyway, it is a really great card. Very strong at 5 mana. Very strong at either 2 or 3 mana too. You would pay that much for these effects anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Away is straight up one better than Devour Flesh. It isn't Diabolic Edict or whatever, but it's good. And then Far is obviously just unsummon, for 1 more.
Mhm.
But they're very strong together. Bouncing tokens out, and especially with Advent of the Worm being around now, I feel like this card is actually standard playable. With Thragtusk tokens out there still.
That's cool. Yeah, I dig that.
In response to them casting like Restoration Angel in Standard, if you could do both, it would be really sick if they had 2 targets for you. But
it's actually cool. It's cool
against Huntmaster, it's actually really good.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. I like it when you're playing Snapcaster Mage because
Mhm.
you can be like, Far, bounce my Snapcaster, you sack a creature. You know
Well,
what I mean? And then
you can't fuse out of the graveyard either.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I'm just saying, getting
If you have
Snapcaster
your
back for other
Snapcaster
spells.
in
If
play
you're
already,
a Snapcaster, yeah, you can bounce your Snapcaster, get another use out of your graveyard
Yeah.
if you already have a spell you want to use.
You can block with your Snapcaster, then cast Far and Away or whatever.
Make them sack a creature, you
and
bounce your Snapcaster,
yeah.
get to use it again to
To
play
cast
it.
Away again, making
Yeah.
them sack another creature possibly.
Yeah,
Like,
or
just
Far,
that.
bounce a creature.
hmm
So it's cool. I like it.
This card.
You might be right. It might be. Yeah, I definitely think it's constructed playable.
It's 5 mana instant speed. Get rid of 2 creatures.
Both the modes are useful. They both are reasonably costed. This card is definitely constructed playable.
Yeah,
I think
you
it is.
always at least get rid of the one you want to with
Mhm.
Far. And if they only have 2, you can set it up so well for yourself.
It'd be like a good 2 of.
Yeah, definitely.
Some good value. Turn and Burn. Let's talk about Turn and Burn again, because I got to play this, and I very, very much like this card. But it's a turn is 2 and a blue. Target creature loses all abilities and becomes 0/1 red weird until end of turn. And then Burn is 1 and a red. Burn deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Did you get a chance to play with it or against it yet?
I think I had it in my pool at the pre-release, and I don't think I got to play it though. I definitely got to play Far and Away many times, but not this one. But it is still very good. I really like that Burn hits players as well as creatures.
Yeah, definitely. So I played it in my list, and I was running a bug list. So it was, it's weird to see that there was a red card in there. But the cool thing was that I had an Is It Guildgate, and actually that turned out to be relevant in my match 4 of the Swiss. I had to mold a 5, and then I kept a hand that was Is It Guildgate in one other land, in like a Turn and Burn. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll just keep it. So my opponent kept it 7, and he plays a turn 1 land, go. I play my Guildgate. He plays a turn 2, the Zerta Druid, the thing that pumps, or not pumps, ramps, and then burns, ramps burns. Yeah. But what was funny about it is I burned it, so I killed it, and then he missed his land drop for like 3 turns. So he was stuck at like he needed that to play another spell. So it like I won with that 5-card hand. But the funny thing was like how relevant 2 1-ofs coming together. Like my having the Is It Guildgate in the same hand as the
Turn
and Burn was like insane.
And Zerta Druid is really obnoxious too. I would
want
to remove it as soon as possible.
That card is excellent. That's a very Zerta Druid is 2 mana 1/1, tap for a green mana.
I'm glad they put it in this set and not in with original Gruul or like with the Gatecrash Gruul.
Yeah, when you tap it for mana, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. It's gonna be. I think this is like a slam first pick card. Honestly, it's so good for its strategy. Let's look at the what is it? What's the 4-drop enchantment Gruul card? +1/+0.
And Gruul War Chant.
Yeah. Now I haven't gotten a chance to play with it, but I've seen it.
I've died to it, that's for sure.
Okay, so Gruul War Chant is a 4-mana enchantment. Each attacking creature you control gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. Very excellent limited card. If you think about it, it's kind of like a little mini madcap skills for each of your creatures. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to think of it is Orcish Oriflame, and it's got
Bogart.
It's actually Goblin War Drums.
Goblin War Drums or Caterwauling Bogart, but I guess that was creature type limited. I think this card is super first pickable and limited, don't you?
Yeah. It's a good reason to start picking up creatures early.
See, now we're faced with like some difficult choices though. Like, would you rather first pick this Gruul War Chant, or would you rather first pick like how about the Tithe Drinker? Like, what would you pick? Gruul War Chant is in the same pack as like your.
I suppose it really depends on the rest of the pack. Tithe Drinker puts you in a good color combination to destroy a Gruul War Chant.
And Tithe Drinker is a 2-mana 2/1 lifelink extort. Excellent card in limited.
And you can get a few attacks in before they even get their War Chant online with this one.
It's a vampire too, I should know.
And I feel like this could put you into Junk, which gives you Sundering Growth and other destroy enchantment effects, you know?
The reason I really like this card is Gabe, a guy on our meta, is just made a vampire deck, and I was watching him play it, and it looked like so much fun. Because Nocturnus is in M13, so it's in standard right now. You have Vampire Nighthawk. Now you have Tide Drinker. You have he was playing Falconwrath Aristocrat
and Blood Lord of Viscopa or Blood Baron of Viscopa.
Absolutely, he was playing that. He was playing Sorin.
That's a good one too. Just playing all black cards. That's cool.
And then it was like Sign in Bloods and stuff like that. So it looked like it was a lot of fun.
Extorting off Sign in Blood seems really good too.
And Blood Baron of Viscopa is just like, just really strong. And actually, using Sign in Blood as like a burn spell late game
Mm-hmm.
can be cool.
Yeah.
But Blood Baron has lifelink and let's talk about Blood Baron because this is a card that's gonna see some constructed play. 5 mana, 4/4, lifelink, pro white, pro black. As long as you have 30 or more life and an opponent has 10 or less life, it gets +6/+6 and has flying. But just as a 4/4 pro white, pro black,
Lifelink.
I mean, let's talk about all the cards this has protection from. You can't sever it, you can't murder it, you can't Azorius Charm it,
You can't Oblivion Ring or Detention Sphere it.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, keep going. I mean, what else is there?
Ortsov Charm is out. You can't.
Searing Spirit. The death.
Yeah,
I mean,
can't. You can't even kill it with most burn spells in
you
general.
have to Mortars it.
War Leader's Helix is off limits too, so it's got to be Homing Lightning or Mortars. Yep.
So there are outs, but
it's
this
red.
it's very the outs are very narrow. So this is an incredibly powerful card in my
Played
opinion.
alongside Cavern, this would be a pain in the ass for most decks to deal with.
And what else doesn't it get by? It's like, oh, you have Lingering Souls? No problem. I'll just walk right by them.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it completely negates the damage that a full Lingering Souls with flashback would do.
Yeah.
So it's just incredibly strong card.
The art is sweet too. There's 2 people hanging in cages next to the throne.
In the right match. But even in the wrong match against red deck, do you think getting a 5 mana 4/4 lifelink pro white, pro black would be bad? I actually think this card is very powerful.
Even if the pro white, pro black is irrelevant, the lifelink is still mostly relevant.
Mm-hmm. And the decks, I mean, let's face it, white and black are pretty relevant colors to have protection from, since that's like the foundation of the good removal in constructed. And the protection from Azorius Charm is so important. I guess, I mean, a Thragtusk deck doesn't really care about Blood Baron too much. I could see that.
Restoration Angel doesn't work alongside Blood Baron either. You can't
blink it to protect it.
Yeah.
But in that same vein, it can't block it either.
That's true.
So that's kind of cool. Huntmaster
actually double blocks to kill it.
So Huntmaster and Thragtusky things don't. Yep. I think that's like where Blood Baron's going to fall short a little bit. But again, the control match, if you resolve this, that's a problem. They got a Supreme Verdict.
Yep.
So there's outs to it. It's not like it's unbeatable.
Green is going to have the best chance against it for sure.
But I like it. It's kind of cool if you could give it like first strike and make it get you to 30.
You mean using Stromkirk Captain?
Oh yeah, he was. Gabe was playing that too. He was playing Stromkirk Captain as well.
That seems really good with Tithe Drinker.
That's really cool. Actually, it looked like a really fun deck because Sorin is so cool too. But Blood Baron is I like this card a lot.
Yeah, you need like 4 Cavern for that kind of vampire deck.
Card is very spicy. Fatal Fumes. I guess we can talk about this card. I had this in my deck.
This card's okay.
So it's a 4 mana instant. Target creature gets -4, -2 until end of turn. Obviously limited applications only, but I don't know what to say about it. It's just like a combat trick mostly.
Yeah. Like you can take out some smaller creatures with it, but then it's like I use this 4 mana removal spell potentially on a small creature. But unless like if it's really annoying, then it's worth it. But I'm totally disappointed by -4, -2. I wish it was -2, -4, because then at least it takes out Gatekeepers by itself.
That's true.
I mean, it's 4 mana. Like they put Mind Static in this set, which is double mana leak for double mana leak cost, and this is double last gasp cost, and you don't even get like to kill anything with 4 toughness.
It's overcosted.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe they felt like there was enough good removal in the format. They needed to drop some crap in.
Yeah. Then they could have boosted like the power, like how much it was taking down power. You know, that would have been a little better than make it be -6, -2. Then it takes out Hungry Mist. Fatal Fumes that take out Hungry Mist. I like it.
That's important.
Yeah.
Wait till they pay the upkeep.
That is important.
Karaz de Gorgon. I want to talk about this card. This card was interesting for me, I'll tell you that much. So it's a Golgari card. It's a 5 mana 2/5 Death Touch Gorgon creature. and you pay 2, and you remove a +1/+1 counter from a creature you control. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Good if you have a lot of scavenge, which is what the purpose of that ability is. Happens to work reasonably well alongside Simic as well.
Hmm. I think probably actually works best with Simic because those are easily recoupable.
Hmm. But even alongside Scavenge, this card's very good, and it's a 2/5 Death Touch. I think that's the main point of this card. It pretty much kills everything.
Hmm.
It's very, very
And lives
difficult.
to talk about
Hmm.
most of the time.
5 toughness is huge, and from the picture, it certainly doesn't look like a 5 toughness creature. But Gorgons I guess, are a hardy race.
They are. They must be very resilient.
Difficult to kill, yeah.
I think it's probably because they're hard to approach.
Yeah, that's why it's got the high toughness. That's a good point. Death Touch is sweet. So I like that card quite a bit, even though I used the ability, like I said, I used the ability once, but having a 2/5 Death Touch was really good. Battering Crisis. Jake and I were talking about how kind of unimpressed we are with this card, but it's strange to me. I mean, I guess I kind of understand why it's a 2/1, because you still want it to like evolve. But I think our argument was let's make it a 3/1.
Yeah.
How about we make it a 3/1?
Yeah. Let's let it evolve something.
So it's a 3-mana 2/1 trample evolve. It's still it's certainly playable. It's not an unplayable card, but
it isn't. But I think 3/1 would have been
acceptable.
Mucho appropriate.
Acceptable.
Yeah. It's not even going to survive combat most of the time, even after you evolve it once. You know.
Yeah.
You made a fish beast. Make it stronger.
It's a strange picture. It's like a hammerhead shark on a. It is a hammerhead shark on like a dinosaur body or something.
Yeah, it is. I do like the picture though.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
But I'd much rather play a Shamble Shark over it. I'd much rather play a Krakenura over it.
Yeah, Krakenura for sure.
I guess Battering Crisis is actually better in a Gruul deck than it is in a Simic deck, because it's a very good creature to Blood Rush on too, and you don't really mind. You're gonna get some evolve out of it for sure.
You're probably right about that for sure.
So that's cool. Trample in general is typically better in Gruul than it is in Simic. It's not like it's not good in Simic.
Yeah.
It's you have more options with the Blood Rush creatures and stuff. Let's talk about the new kind of hill giant Blood Rush creature. What's his name? Maka or something? Or Maba?
No.
What is it?
It's Rubble Belt Maka.
Oh.
There.
I knew something weird was in it. Okay, so it's a 4-mana 3/3 cat. Six-eyed cat.
Six-eyed cat. You'll note.
And Blood Rushes for a red, and you discard it, and an attacking creature gets +3/+3 until end turn. Deceptively good. I like it. It's a giant growth or it's a hill giant. So options like this are just very versatile.
Yeah, this is a really good Blood Rush card. I'm glad it's around.
I am too. How many? Do you think you can play these infinitely because it's an attacking giant growth, or not?
I think that you can play at
in
least
limited.
Limited.
You could get away with that.
Yeah.
Just because it's a giant growth. I think you're right. So that's cool. Blood Rushes, +3/+3 is very relevant.
I mean, think of how much better it is as a Blood Rusher than
Slaughterhorn.
Well, I was going to say than
Skinbrain Goblin.
Yeah.
But even Slaughterhorn.
But Slaughterhorn is
just
a good
getting
point too. Yeah.
Just getting the additional
toughness.
Yeah. But would you rather have a Slaughterhorn because it's 3-mana 3/2?
Probably.
I think so too. But still, this card is very good. Important note, I won some packs yesterday. Uh-oh. Did I unplug something?
No, you just...
Oh, I turned off my monitor. Got some Dragon's Maze boosters. So we're going to... Audio listeners? Alright, we're going to crack some packs. So hopefully we'll see some cool cards here. I saved them just so I could do it live on this podcast.
It's true. Told me about them last night.
Alright, I'll open the first one. And the rare is the most exciting part. So I usually like to do that. See if there's a foil though, maybe. Fair. Or maybe Shockland. So you got a chance to get it. Oh, Wars off Gilgate, so no Shockland. Rare is Viral's the Scar Striped. So Virals is 3 mana, 2/2. Why don't we just look them up on here? The picture is so cool. And I haven't looked at the uncommons yet, so we should do that. But Virals is a 3 mana, 2/2 Troll Warrior legend. Each creature card in your graveyard has Scavenge. The Scavenge cost is equal to its mana cost. Sacrifice another creature, regenerate Virals, discard Striped. Pretty cool card. Joe, I got another guy in our meta, has a cool idea with it, and I like the way he's thinking with Vexing Devil.
Because you can just play it and then scavenge it. Yeah.
+4/+4.
Yeah, that's really good actually because what are they gonna do? Like let you have the 4/3,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just attack with it anyway, and then they have to kill it.
It's huge counters.
Yeah.
For 1 mana.
You can also sack it if they do allow it to come in to regen and then scavenge onto it.
I think that's actually a legit idea.
Yeah.
And what's cool about it is you can even do stuff like Faithless Looting, so you can get it in there, so then you can scavenge it later, or to dig for your Virals, or maybe you want to dig for your Vexing Devil anyway, because they're so much more powerful early in the game.
Is Lotless Troll good then in that deck?
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, you're right.
And actually, in that case, with Gravecrawler, you have a sack outlet for your Virals too, like a way to sack or replenish your creatures.
What do you sack it with?
Well, if you have
Oh yeah, this
Gravecrawler,
guy. I actually forgot. I
yeah.
didn't read that part. Did I? Or sack another creature, regenerate him. That's really good.
Yeah.
I actually really like that a lot. He's cool.
Yeah, he's a troll. He's got to regen somehow.
He's good alongside Undying too.
Yeah.
He's good with like your Geralf's Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play a Geralf's Messenger. I'll sack it. I'll scavenge it onto him or something. Make him bigger. He's cool.
I like him too.
The uncommons I got are Putrefy, Warped Physique, and Toil and Trouble. Cool to see a Putrefy. Was that always an uncommon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then commons. Anything exciting? Not really. Hidden
I like
strings.
Stones.
Okay, Jake, crack the next one.
That's the sound of me opening a pack. What?
Guildgate. Ooh.
Mythic.
Legion's Initiative. I think that's worth some money too. So that's kind of cool. But we'll look that up for you. That's an exciting one. Legion's Initiative. Alright, it's a red and a white. Red creatures you control get +1/+0. White creatures you control get +0/+1. And then you pay 2 mana, exile it. Exile all creatures you control. At the beginning of the next combat, return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control. And those creatures gain haste until end of turn. So you said you like this card quite a bit. Let's kind of talk about where it's going to shine. It's nice that it dodges all sweepers. It dodges any removal, any spot removal. Anything else? I mean, that's enough. But
I mean,
like, is there any other practical applications for that ability?
It lets your creatures chump and do it again the next turn. You know, like if
block, and then sack it.
Yeah,
that's true.
Provided there's no trample involved.
Nothing else super exciting in this pack. The uncommons were Scab Clan Giant, who I like quite a bit actually. He's a 6 mana 4/5, and when he enters the battlefield, fights an opponent or a creature an opponent controls at random, which might seem awkward because it's got random on it, but
4/5 actually
is a really good body to fight with. Yeah. Like you're pretty far behind if you're gonna still lose that combat somewhere, you know. At least like trades.
And I honestly think it's worth the chance, even if they've got the creature out there that might trade with it, if they've got more
because just
trade creatures.
Because if you do kill one and then you get the 4/5 body, it's just really good. Debt to the Deathless is another one in here. This card's interesting.
I like this card a lot.
I'm really curious if this is limited playable or even constructed playable.
I think it has more applications than constructed,
but as a one-of, if you're some sort of junk, like if you decide to get, if you're like the Axebane deck, this card's phenomenal.
If you can make that work,
you just kill them at, I guess at 14 mana, which is really expensive, but you don't have to. You don't have to have 14 mana. You can also just deal some damage to them throughout the game.
Even just doing it for, let's say it's 4, X is 4, so 8. That's 8 life that you just gained and they lost, you know, for 8 mana.
Yeah,
and then at
that's
9,
true. 8 mana,
it's
lose
10.
8, gain 8 is pretty good.
Yeah.
So it gets more efficient as it goes.
Yeah, but like I think you have to hit 8 before it's actually efficient.
And
Because at 7, it's
yeah.
7 for 6.
The Axebane deck's going to be difficult to do in full block as well. You'd be lucky if you get 2 of them. You know, be happy if you get 2 of them.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the last pack here.
There's also Bergman, Haven, and like you can do some ramp type stuff. The Clue Stone.
Stone. All right. See what we got here. Nothing. Oh, I like the picture the most, I think, of the new Rakdos Guild Gate. So pretty. Rare is, boom. Ooh.
These are going for a little bit.
Sire of Insanity. Yeah, people are excited about this. So this is supposed to be like the new Jund card to beat Control. Sire of Insanity is a 6 mana 6/4. So effectively black and red Craw Giant or Crawworm.
Yeah, Crawworm.
So 4, a black and a red, 6/4 demon. Kind of cool picture too. At the beginning of each end step, each player discards his or her hand, and it's a picture of a crazy, malicious-looking demon with like a huge, enormous tail, and it's just like dunking a man in, assume, acid or some sort of painful.
Some sort of mind-sapping cauldron of something. I don't know. It says its victims become mindless lunatics. Conveniently, that's the first step into joining the cult of Rakdos.
Oh, okay. So he's like joining. I see. But people are talking about him. People are speaking about this card. I'm not sure yet. I kind of like the idea of it. I guess I could see definitely some sort of big black red deck.
Considering that like
it's good against Control. It is good against Control. Control being put in top deck mode can be difficult for them. And they typically are holding a bunch of cards in their hands, so you can get some good value out of it.
It shuts off all sorcery speed removal.
Yeah, and actually, it kind of screws over Sphinx's Revelation, too.
Oh, it definitely fucks Sphinx's Revelation, like, really bad.
Yeah. So I think it's cool. I like Sire of Insanity. How good is it going to be in Constructed? I don't know. How good is it in Limited? I guess that's the question.
I don't
think
know
it's that
that
great,
it's
right?
that great in Limited, no.
No, I don't think so either.
I think
it's okay.
Plays a role in Constructed, but
if you're ahead on the board, and you can get value out of this.
I think that it's a better
good in Rakdos
card.
It's good in Rakdos. I could see this being a good spot to top out at. But it's okay. It's cool. Crawl Warrior. I want to talk about this card. I was happy with those 3 rares, by the way.
Yeah, good. I know. I was thinking how good each one of them is.
They panned out pretty well. Is Varal's worth anything? Probably not, huh?
No.
He's cool, though.
Yeah, he is.
I like that Vexing Devil idea, by the way. That is cool.
That is cool.
Is there any other super high power guys? I guess it works well with Aristocrat. Works well with Messenger.
Yeah, I think it works best with Messenger.
Honestly. Even like Diregraph Ghoul or something.
Yeah.
Ghoul +2/+2 for 1. Alright, so Crawl Warrior is a 2 mana 2/2 Insect Warrior, and you pay 6, and it gets +3/+3 until end of turn. So, I don't know, what do you think? I liked it.
It's cool. Like, it works well.
I like it quite a bit. And I don't know, I feel like it attacks at a 5/5. Did we already talk about this card too?
Maybe.
Just earlier? We might have. I want to go back to it though, because it is really good. Someone played a Runner's Bane on it, and then I pumped it.
Mentioned that.
Yeah, and then I pumped it, and I took off the Runner's Bane. So, really cool. I don't know. I feel like this is a really good bear. Getting to late game, didn't we talked about earlier, like comparing it to like Drudge Beetle. You said you liked the Drudge Beetle more because it was just the one-time cost to pump, and there are uses for the counters. But this one is very sick at pumping it and making it a 5/5. Let's talk about, since we've been talking about Runner's Bane, might as well show the picture and look at it up close. Actually, I haven't looked at this picture up close. So what guild is it?
It looks to me like it's Dimir or Azorius or something. But you can't tell because Exava's the one that's getting punished by it.
Oh, so it's a picture of Exava?
Yeah.
And what's that in the background?
I assume the person who's casting it, but you can't really see who it is.
So Runner's Bane is 2 mana, enchant creature with power 3 or less. When it enters the battlefield, tap the enchanted creature, and the creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. But bear in mind it says with power 3 or less, enchant creature with power 3 or less. So if, at any point, if the creature gets more than 3 power, Runner's Bane immediately falls off.
Yep.
But still a good limited card. I like it quite a bit. Notable creatures that it hits.
You can also, like, just to say this, you can counter this spell by increasing the power of your creature too. So, like, that would prevent it from becoming tapped, you know? Because if you let this come into play, it will still tap that creature.
That is good to know. That's cool. And actually, this card coming into play, I can see this being good in the Ethereal Armor enchantment deck, or good in I don't know, any what's the 5-drop from Return to Ravnica, the Sphere of Safety.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that card actually becomes playable. We've got a lot of good enchantments right now.
Unfortunately, Restoration Angel has always been the thing holding the enchant your creature's deck back.
I guess I was just talking in limited. Because you can actually do Sphere of Safety
yeah,
deck.
You can totally do Sphere of Safety, sorry.
In limited.
Yeah.
Like with Runner's Bane, and you have Ethereal Armor, and I want to see.
You were talking about the Bant Hexproof deck.
I want to see that deck though in limited, because we never played it, even in triple Return to Ravnica, when you could get. The funny thing is, Sphere of Safety is actually insane in multiples, because like
it's almost like it's very hard to defeat for some decks.
Like 2 of them they have to pay 4 mana, 3 of them they have to pay 9 mana. So it's really sick.
Yeah.
For each creature.
Yeah. Per creature is pretty sweet, huh?
I have to go to the bathroom quick. Do you want to look up all the auras
from
this new set? Or just return. We should talk about the auras in general, like the best auras. Think of like all the auras from Return to Ravnica Black.
Okay. All right.
Are you just not talking, Jake?
Sorry, I'm looking stuff up. I don't know what. Here I'm going to type Return to Ravnica block. Here I'm going to type aura. You don't have aura? Aura. Not that. No, let's get rid of that. Okay, so here we go. So these would be all the auras that could go into your Sphere of Safety deck. I think Agoraphobia obviously is a really great one, and the rest. Probably wouldn't play Alpha Authority or these. Debtor's Pulpit would be a really great one to tap down their biggest guy in the Sphere of Safety deck. And here's Ethereal Armor. Gift. I don't know. I mean, auras were powerful during the original Ravnica block too, so it makes sense that they tried to push that this time around too. I really don't know which ones are best for that deck, or like which color combination.
I heard you mention a few in there. You said Debtor's Pulpit.
Yeah.
That one is pretty good. Although it is also another 5-drop one.
Yeah.
Murder Investigation? That's kind of funny.
I wasn't talking about that one, but
that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. 1,000 lashes and Crisis Incubation probably are the two that would push you to go into your third color. You know.
I see. Paralyzing Grasp would be fine. This card was pretty underwhelming in Return to Ravnica block. Do you remember that? Or just
Triple Return?
Yeah, Triple Return.
Yeah.
Pretty underwhelming.
It's not a great effect in general, but it does stop Rakdos creatures because they're always attacking.
Yeah. but they'll get in on you.
Yeah.
Pursuit of Flight's a good one because it's defensive plus you can block flyers and you're
I like
making
Pursuit
them
of
pay
Flight
more
a
to
lot.
attack into you. Yeah. Racecourse Fury, I guess if you were really hard up for Whereas actually Security Blockade would be a really good one
Mm-hmm.
because you get a creature out of it. They have to pay more.
Knightly Valor.
Then when
good,
they do
too.
pay more, you still get to prevent damage to yourself. Security Blockade is excellent alongside Ethereal Armor, Sphere of Safety.
And just having one Sphere of Safety can be enough sometimes.
If you have enough auras. Righteous Authority was a really excellent aura, in my
Mhm.
opinion. What did you think of it?
It is really strong.
Mm-hmm.
It really became like an uphill battle after they played it. If you were against it,
Mm-hmm.
you were just like, God damn. And you really needed to kill that creature that turn.
Yeah, definitely. They get too much value out of it too fast, and you just like, because they get a sweet blocker out of the deal too. That was sort of the sick thing,
Yeah, or an attacker.
Yeah. So
The
that
next
was kind
turn,
of that was kind of the dirty thing about it. So there's Runner's Bane we just talked about. Security Blockade, Sinister Possession. It's kind of a funny card.
Yeah.
I could see it actually being fine. Play it alongside Sky Games would be fine. It's cheap. Soul Tithe was actually a cool one. Soul Tithe turned out to be better than people gave it credit for because it's a key rune killer too. Because I mean, let's face it, they're not going to pay 3 mana to save their key rune.
Right.
So it removes key runes. It randomly removes expensive creatures. I guess it sucks against tokens, but still. At the same time, it boosts your ethereal armor, feeds your sphere of safety, so even more motivation that they just sack the permanent. I liked Soul Tithe. I think in the beginning it kind of had a bad reputation as being kind of turdy, but overall I thought it was decent.
I think the problem is that I don't know if it's a better card early or late, but I feel like I always had it played against me too early to make it really useful. But I don't know.
I guess you're right. It doesn't take out the bomb threats. It takes out the early threats. It's good. I think it is good early, but just as like on anything that costs 2 or 3 mana. Like it was good against a Rakdos deck when they like their turn 2 is a Rakdos Shred Freak. Your turn 2 is okay. Soul Tithe it.
Yeah,
and then they're like, oh, okay.
I think that's right against the aggro decks, but I always found that like either keeping the permanent around was just like such a pain in their ass that it was worth it early on. And like, I don't know, maybe it was just that people weren't playing enough other removal or building on more creatures to bring out to make it where I just didn't want my permanent around anymore. But I don't know, I always felt like this card was underwhelming when people played it against me.
The next card, Stab Wound. I bet that would be damn good. That was probably something. That was a strategy you could do, I'm sure. But that was Urza colors. I guess you could do it in junk or something. But Sphere of Safety
if
with
they were playing any defenders, you could do it against them for sure.
The Sphere of Safety Stab Wound deck sounds like it's a lot of fun. Just kill them with your stab wounds and make it more difficult for them to attack you. And have your Axebanes and your Doorkeepers or whatever color, whatever blockers you got, whatever defenders, and then that's sweet. Or your Jailbreakers. So you make it difficult to attack into you, make them pay for it, have good blockers. That would be a fun deck. But it's going to be difficult to do that deck. Stab Wound had sort of a famous reputation in Triple Return of Ravnica. Some people valued it extremely high. Some people were like, it's very good, but it's not like out of control good. Some people, I was kind of more of, I didn't think it was out of control good, but I did think it was very good. You had to know when to play it correctly, because usually it meant, okay, I guess I'm off attack mode now, so I'm just I'm going to let you hit. Or if you're just using it as removal, sometimes it felt a little bit like you weren't getting enough value out of it, just as like a little clunks removal, where it was like, I'd rather kill you with it, Very good alongside cards like Soul Sworn Spirit, the unblockable creature, because then you can still attack in and punish them. So in that same way, very good with evasive creatures in general. I bet Stab Wound in full block is going to be very good alongside Deathcall Rogue. It's going to be very good alongside Keymaster Rogue. It's going to be What are some more unblockable or just evasive? It's going to be good with like Cloudfin Raptor,
Basilica Screecher. I mean, there's Kingpin Pet.
Kingpin's Pet, any of the good cheap flyers, yeah. So I think that's cool. 10th Street Market, never really played it. We didn't play it once, I don't think, did we? In all those drafts we did.
It's all right. It actually, I was thinking about it. I don't know. That effect, if you had a Ralzeric, you might want to play that effect. But that's only in limited.
Yeah, I see. Because then you get 2 uses out of it. You can untap the land enchants.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I mean,
What's Urban Burgeoning do again?
it untaps the land during your opponent's untap step.
So I guess 10th Street Market and Urban Burgeoning together
Yeah.
in the Ethereal Armor Sphere of Safety deck.
But Debtor's Pulpit is probably better on that then. 'Cause-
Yeah,
Well,
then, I think so. No, I think so too. You'd
well,
rather
here, go down to Urban Burgeoning. There.
Urban Burgeoning is 1 green enchant land. Enchanted land has untap this land during each other
Oh.
player's untap step.
So you wouldn't even be able to do it twice during their turn, but you could tap something down during your turn to attack in,
and
and
still
then
untap.
tap
Yeah,
it down.
So you do,
for
yeah.
defense,
So it's
too.
good offensively and defensively. Unflinching Courage is the new Armadillo Cloak from Dragon's Maze. Extremely strong card. Definitely a slam first pick, I would think. Armadillo Cloak certainly was. When we did our invasion draft, I think. We got it. We were like past an Armadillo
Yeah.
Cloak. Armadillo Cloak, thanks. We like first picked a Daragaz the Igniter who's like Jund colors, and then we
Picked up the
Ar-
Armadillo Cloak.
let's go 4-color. I
Yeah.
think we did go 4-color too.
It's not hard in Invasion Block
We
either.
made it to the finals with that deck,
Yeah.
so that was cool. But anyway, Unflinching Courage is 3 mana +2/+, enchantment aura. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has trample and lifelink. Jake doesn't like the picture.
I was actually just going to say how, this is one of those cards, rare cards that shows an entirely different world.
The picture is of like, what is this thing? Like a cat? It's like a little cat
No,
person
it's
or
not a
something,
cat.
or like
It's like a pan.
Oh, I see.
like
Because it has
thing.
cloven hooves.
Yeah.
So it's like
What is
we
that?
thought it
A
was a
satyr,
satyr.
yeah,
So it's
satyr.
like a little. It's not quite a satyr. That maybe it is, but it's a strange
It's
looking
a satyr with nipple piercings.
And then it's
a
standing,
dinosaur.
which kind of looks like a rhino dinosaur.
Looks like a Triceratops dinosaur.
Oh, I see. Because it just doesn't have very prominent.
Or Styracosaurus.
Doesn't have very. I don't even know what the hell that one is. But Unflinching Courage is a bomb card. Very good enchantment.
Yeah.
I think it's going to see some constructive play too, because it's really good with in the Bant Hexproof deck. Think about that on an Invisible Stalker. Super annoying. 6-point life swing every turn on turn 3.
Mm-hmm. I'm not even sure what's happening in that picture though. That, like,
don't
where's the lifelink coming from? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Maybe the satyr.
You think he's the one enchanted with Unflinching Courage and he's running away from that dinosaur?
I actually don't know. I thought it was him and they were together and they're like charging something, right? That's kind of the impression I get. I guess he is running from it. He does look a little bit worried.
They're all fucking running from it. Both these guys.
Oh, I didn't even notice this. There's also a little dude. What is that little
He's
dude?
closer to that. He's further away. This one's like closer to us. So that's why we can see him larger.
So it's like a perspective thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And
So I think maybe it's a joke that they really don't have Unflinching Courage.
so
Or is it supposed to be this
I think that thing is supposed to be enchanted since it has the green like lines
on
on
its
its
back?
back.
Okay.
Make it look magically enchanted.
That's strange. So it's like a card designed to be talking about the weird rhino dinosaur thing.
Which would already have no problem taking on these two things, even without the
With the
enchantment.
enchantment, yeah.
So like,
Maybe it used to be small. And then the
but look
Unflinching
at
Courage
it.
made
It
big.
doesn't even look like it would have been small before.
Yeah, it looks like a big dinosaur. I don't get it.
Boo! Boo!
Way of the Thief, which also is going to work well with Stab Wound.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of excited about a Stab Wound unblockable deck now. I feel like that's cool. Is there enough unblockable or not? I mean, there's enough
plenty of
invasive
it,
stuff,
yeah.
yeah. Verdant Haven 2, very good in the Sphere of Safety deck, especially since it ramps into it, gains you life.
I got this map.
So I think that's a good juke. All in all, I think in general, if you can see, the problem is you don't know if you're going to see Sphere of Safety until pack 3. I mean, if it's open, there's almost assuredly you're gonna get a chance to, draft it or whatever. But I think, unfortunately, it's like if you don't see it and you draft all these auras that don't really work well in conjunction with each other otherwise, it's not that exciting. I guess if you get ethereal armor, you're rewarded for all the enchantments you play too. So at the very least, there is going to be an enchantment deck of some sort in limited. Jake talked about agoraphobia a little bit. I do like that quite a bit. It's a powerful effect. That's a powerful card for blue. I really do like agoraphobia. I feel like we passed it more of late in our gate crash drafts. By the way, at the end of this podcast, we're going to be doing a Lorwyn block draft. We did one already. That'd be kind of cool, actually, a nice little segue. Maybe we want to talk about Lorwyn block draft since it's online for a little while, and maybe people watching this want some of our insight. We can talk about that block a little bit. It's a tribal block.
Mm-hmm.
Lorwyn is the first block to contain planeswalkers, which made it pretty exciting, as you might imagine. Oh, they combined Lorwyn and Shadowmoor, huh?
Oh, they are combined.
Well, let's just look. Well, these drafts are just Lorwyn and Morningtide. It was a really strange block. It's the only block to contain 4 sets.
Mm-hmm.
It's got... Actually, that's not true. What about didn't Time Spiral go back to Cold Snap or something at some point? How did that work?
Cold Snap was like...
It came out in between something, though,
It was
right?
like the long lost, yeah. It came out between Ravnica and Time Spiral. So it actually was a precursor to Time Spiral, apparently.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that. But,
But
yeah.
it rotated with Time Spiral.
Alright, so we'll talk... It's a tribal set, and we can probably just name all the tribes, because then there's another really cool aspect to it in Changelings. But all the tribes were, I believe it's Giants, Rogues, Kithkin, Merfolk, Elves.
Well, the Lorwyn concentrated on the races, and that was for white. It was
Kithkin.
Giants and Kithkin,
Mm-hmm.
and for blue it was and Merfolk were white also, and then for blue it was Merfolk, fairies. Was there one other? Elementals were like more primarily in blue than
in some of the other colors.
than in like any of the other secondary colors. So I would lump them in there. But elementals and changelings were represented in every color. Anyway, in black you had fairies and elves and goblins, and in red there were elementals, and that was like the primary place for elementals, and then also goblins, and there had to have been one other one. Giants, also in red. And then for green, it was elves, tree folk. Oh, and tree folk were in white too.
And elves were in black.
Yeah, and elves were in black. But for green, was it just elves and tree folk?
Is there always a third? Does each one have 3 races?
Some of them had like a lot. It wasn't really evenly distributed.
That's kind of strange too.
Yeah, but they all at least had 2. So maybe green was just elves and...
But anyway, as you can see, very tribal set. So the changeling aspect to this set was very cool. And the changelings were a group of creatures that are all creature types. So why that's good? Obviously, you're getting cards in this block that have tribal benefits, like uncommons for each color that are actual lords, which is sweet. And we were just talking about yesterday, or when we were doing the draft, how overpowered at uncommon the green one. What is the green?
Imperious Perfect.
Yeah.
How good that one is compared to like even Mad Auntie,
So Imperious Perfect, yeah, and this card's uncommon, by the way. So it's 2 and a green for a 2/2 elf warrior. Other elves you control get +1/+1, and then you pay a green and tap it, and you get a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. But with Imperious Perfect in play, it's really a 2/2. So.
And then out of Morningtide, you had not Wolfskull, but Bramblewood Paragon, which was a 2-drop. Whenever a warrior entered the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it.
So you could make it even bigger.
And then each of those tokens that the Imperious Perfect produced was also a warrior. So they were not only getting the Imperious Perfect benefit, but
So they were
also
3/3s,
this benefit.
3/3 tramplers.
Yeah.
Very
and your
sick.
Imperious Perfect was a 3/3 trampler.
Both of these cards uncommons.
Yeah.
Just
Like-
uncommon. This one at least feels a little bit more balanced, but
Yeah.
Imperious Perfect with the creature creation, I feel like
hmm
that had to be rare. I really feel like that card had to be rare, but they made it uncommon.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that was their prerogative on that one.
And,
I don't know.
And they, like, the Kithkin Lord was just a 2/2 that pumped every other.
Wise and
Kithkin.
Sen is a 2-mana 2/2.
This one feels
Kithkin
balanced
cleric.
at uncommon.
Other Kithkins you control get +1/+1.
But Imperious Perfect definitely overpowered it uncommon.
Very strange.
hmm
Um,
Almost
Yeah.
every other one was rare, I feel like.
but in general, Lorwyn is pretty cool. We had a lot of fun with it. I like it.
I don't know that like we need to go through each card or anything.
No, we
but,
don't have to go through it individually. But I think we should bring up. All right. Well, we should say what we played. We played Elementals.
Mhm.
So you definitely want to pick a tribe. I don't think you want to just sort of mess around with like trying to take cards with good value. You're definitely getting the best synergies from taking tribal cards. They're the most powerful ones. This is also a set that had an ability called championing, and how champion works is when you play a creature with champion, you
When it
exile.
enters the battlefield,
Yes.
you have to exile either a creature of a specific type or just a creature. It'll say champion a blank.
Because some of the changelings are champion creatures, and in that case you can just do anything. You can do any creature. But anyway, the whole champion mechanic is very strange. The whole point of it was your champions are actually very cheap and efficient mana cost wise for how powerful they are. But the downside, you have to exile a creature you control, and then when the champion creature dies, or is it leaves play?
Leaves play.
When the champion creature leaves play, you return the exiled creature to the battlefield.
It's like
There were sometimes you could get synergies out of it with any creature with enter the battlefield effect. And actually, Champion saw some constructed play in its time in Standard in the Fairies deck because they played this obnoxious card called Mistbind Click, which we'll talk about. So this was a 4-mana 4/4 flash flyer, champion a fairy, and then when it is championed, when a fairy is championed with Mistbind Click, tap all lands target player controls.
So you couldn't just play it as a 4-mana short on your opponent. You had to champion something to get the mana short effect. But it was very obnoxious to get that mana short on you.
It was a very, very obnoxious and strong card.
Yeah.
Because what they would do is
During your upkeep,
tap all your
Yeah,
lands.
tap all of your lands, so you won't be playing anything this turn to defend yourself against my newly created 4/4 flying.
And then on my turn, I get access to Cryptic Command.
Yeah,
mana again.
exactly.
It
So I'll
was-
be countering something and tapping down your creatures next turn, so you can't block me the following turn either.
It was incredibly strong.
Yeah.
Incredibly obnoxious.
Yep.
But Fairies is over with.
Yeah, we're done
day
with fairies.
That day is gone.
They'll never make that mistake again. Like
That deck was the only aggro control list I've ever seen.
that was that.
Powerful.
It was
powerful.
stifling. Like
It wasn't fun to play against
No.
either. It was a horrible environment. We're lucky to have an environment that we have now. I don't know why I complain about standard construct environment right now. The only problem I have with it is because it's grindy. And
because of the life gain.
this is a little bit of a tangent, but I kind of want to go on it because a very big part of online that's awesome is that you are timed. Now, online, they're just keeping track of your time during the match, and you don't share time with your opponent. When you're making a decision, your timer is going down. When your opponent is making a decision, their timer is going down. In real life, it doesn't work like that. You share time. So it behooves the control deck in real life, to win game 1 and then, stall out game 2, They can just chill and sit on it and not worry about their time and waste more time and go to time. So that's kind of an issue I have with Paper Magic. And the reason that's a problem now in this environment is you have cards like Huntmaster of the Fells, Thragtusk, Restoration Angel. You have all these things that just give you incredible resilience. Thragtusk in particular, since it gains you the 5 life, and even if you manage to remove it, it's another blocker you have to deal with. So there's that. It's just, there's a lot of cards that make the match go longer And Angel of Serenity is one for sure. That's like, how many times have you looked at Angel of Serenity and you knew that the game just gained another 5 to 10 minutes
Well,
of.
it's the second Angel of Serenity that really puts it out there,
Mhm.
because then it's like, oh, and now I have no way back from this.
They
you know?
just keep coming, and
Yeah.
it's like, am I just playing this out?
Yeah, they
You know?
just cycle through their Angel of Serenities and get their Thragtusk back with it. It is really obnoxious, and I will be happy when Thragtusk is gone and Angel of or Restoration Angel, excuse me. When they're both out of standard, it'll be a nice day.
Yeah, I could see that. It's soon.
Hmm.
I guess we still have the summer with them. We have to wait till October or something. But what else in this? Another thing about Changeling. There's actually quite a few things we haven't mentioned in this set yet. In the Lorwyn block, there's also tribal spells. Now that was unique to this set as well, right?
Yeah, and something that they said that they won't be doing again in the future.
Which is interesting, but I guess understandable.
The real issue with it is that there are so many spells that should be tribal that aren't, that, to add it now is like, ugh.
Too much work.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. But tribal spells are spells like instants and sorceries, and even enchantments that
They're
have
non-creature permanents that have a creature type.
And the purpose of that
Or
is
non-creature spells.
there's bannerets, a banneret cycle in this set, and there's other spells besides the bannerets, but Boss Banneret is a 2-mana. They're all 2-mana spells with different abilities, different creature types that make a specific creature type cheaper. So Boss Banneret's a 2-mana 1/3 Tree Folk Shaman that makes Tree Folks and Shamans one less to play. And actually, each of the bannerets affect 2 creature types, right?
Both,
or is it a creature type and a class? Race and a class. Okay, so I have a lot of experience with Boss Banneret because I play a Shaman's deck, a green-red Shaman's deck, and Boss Banneret was phenomenal in that. It really lets you do some abusive stuff. And the fact that it was 1/3 was actually really important and good alongside like Rage Forger. But the bannerets also make these instants and sorceries and enchantments, these non-creature permanents, cheaper as well. So you really need to be paying attention to that, and it's really cool. They're also random. There was like random synergies in constructed with these tribal spells. For example, Nameless Inversion was a tribal changeling spell, so it was all creature types. So I used to abuse that Nameless Inversion alongside Lord of the Undead. So you could like cycle it back from your graveyard and get like an infinite last gasp sort of effect, or at least 2 in 1 turn potentially.
You could use that with Crib Swap. I feel like you did that with Tide Hollow Skeller in that kind of Shards block 2 meta.
Yeah, definitely. It was cool. So tribal spells are very good. What's some other things from this set? Are those all the mechanics in the set? The changeling and the
Tribal,
and the champion.
Champion. I think it was.
That could be it.
I mean, there was also Reinforce out of the next set.
Oh yeah, Reinforce is a very interesting ability. We have a chance to be seeing that when we do the draft, so we'll kind of. I guess you can't look up. Let me go back.
So look up.
Text.
Yeah.
Just look up Reinforce. So Reinforce is a ability where it has a certain number assigned to it. So for example, we'll name another banneret. The red banneret is Bright Hearth Banneret. It's 2-mana, 1/1 Elemental Warrior. Elementals and Warriors spells you cast cost 1 less, and then it has Reinforce 1 for 2 mana. So at instant speed, you discard this card from your hand, and you put a +X counter on target creature, where X is equal to
X +1/+1 counters.
Yeah. So those counters are equal to the reinforced number that's assigned to each card. Turned out to be a really good ability because it's a combat trick. It's an excellent combat trick since it's a trick that actually permanently benefits the creature. So Reinforce is an excellent ability, actually, if you think about the fact that you can use it at instant speed, too. This is a good chance to look at all of the Reinforce spells. I haven't looked at all of them yet since we haven't played it. Ooh, Earthbrawn looks like it's a really good one.
Yeah, Earthbrawn was really good.
That's cool. Like doubles as a good trick or...
Giant Growth or Reinforce.
Yeah. two different options. Hunting Triad seems like it's pretty good, especially since it's reinforced 3.
At instant speed.
It's a 4-mana tribal sorcery elf. Put 3/1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens onto the battlefield. And then it has reinforced 3. Elves,
So 3 power, no
yeah.
matter what.
Elves is pretty obnoxious
Mhm.
in this. It's very strong. Do you
They
think
made
it's
so
slower?
many good uncommon elf cards too.
They did. I mean, if you pick up
Elvish Promenade.
if you open Imperious Perfect, chances are you should slam your Imperious Perfect. It takes the game over. And like we said, the Bramblewood Paragon too, extremely strong. That's the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So Mosquito Guard, that feels like it's a pretty good one. It's a 1-mana Kithkin soldier with first strike, and then it has reinforce 1 for
He's
2.
like a good reinforced target too because of first strike.
Yeah, and actually, I think the coolest one was the land that had reinforced rustic. How do you pronounce that? Klachan.
I think it's Flatchin.
We should look up. What a Klachan is. It's probably just a small little community or something.
Yeah.
But we'll look it up, and that'll give us the pronunciation too. So it's Klachan. So it is Klachan. Rustic Klachan, Clachan, and a small village or hamlet is the dictionary definition of it. About what I thought. If you look at the picture, it's like a small village.
Mm-hmm.
Some chickens walking around it. It's a Kithkin village, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why the chickens are like large compared to the size of the huts and stuff.
Do you think the Kithkin maybe were based on like Willow?
I think they could have been a little bit.
I'm trying to think, or just maybe gnomes in general, or something.
I think Kithkin are just like
Gnomish. They're little.
hobbits.
Hobbits,
I think
yeah.
more like hobbits.
That could be. That's probably true. Yeah, they are like little hobbits,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure hobbits is like copyrighted or whatever.
Yeah.
So they had to do
that. Yeah.
They had to do Kithkin, but they also
They already
did.
had Kithkin before.
Oh, they did.
Amru Kithkin.
Oh,
from
that's
Legends.
right. No, you're right. And they are different looking than hobbits. They have a very unique sort of
They're
face.
stout and like almost oval, like with their facial structure.
That's not a very good one. You can't see his face very well. What's one where you get a really good front view of their weird face?
Not
Wisenson, but what's
who's
it?
the archer? Brigid? Brigid?
Oh yeah, you do get a. How do you spell Brigid?
GID.
Oh, it's because it's text maybe. Brigid is a 4-mana. Brigid here of Kinsvale, 4-mana, 2/3. Yeah, she is a really good example of how weird their face is. 4-mana, 2/3, first strike, Kithkin Archer, and then you tap it, deals 2 damage to each attacking or blocking creature target player controls. Really good on defense because it has first strike,
Mm-hmm.
and then you use its ability,
Mm-hmm.
and you can kill 4 power or 4 toughness things.
And she, I guess it's more like heart-shaped, their face, you know?
They have pointed ears too, though. It almost looks like maybe not. It's difficult to tell.
I don't think
Kind
it
of,
is.
maybe not. But they're cool. They're like and actually the Kithkin deck was pretty good for a little while. It was just really fast because the Wizened Sun Lord, plus you've got Gold Medal Stalwart, and I don't know.
There were a bunch of 1-drops. I feel like Harrier was also available.
Kinsvale Border Guard was
the ultimate.
Because at that time that card was really powerful. So what was that mechanic actually? Isn't that a unique one? Oh no, it's just an ability it had. Okay, so Kinsvale Border Guard is a 3-mana 1/1 Kithkin soldier, but it comes into play with a +1/+1 counter on it for each other Kithkin you control. And then when it's put into a graveyard from play, you get a 1/1 Kithkin for each counter on it.
So when you see this like flash of light in front of the Kithkin, that's actually the Thought Weft in art form.
Oh, interesting.
Like that's how they show they're using Thought Weft.
So for listeners, the picture on Border Guard is 3 Kithkin soldiers kind of crouching next to each other, and they're all very armed to the teeth, and they're wearing kind of looks like leather.
Light armor, yeah.
Leather armor,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe studded.
Yeah.
This one doesn't look studded.
I can't tell what like kind of weaponry they're using.
But yeah, so it appears that they have some sort of white. I don't know how to describe it. It's like
a
symbol.
star.
Yeah.
It looks like a flash star. in front of their face.
But why don't
kind
you?
of.
But why don't you explain what the thought weft is?
But the thought weft is like almost like a group unconsciousness where everyone is in tune with like the feelings and emotions of everyone else, and it's almost like having a knowledge of what everyone is feeling and thinking. So they're really empathic toward each other, I guess, and it causes them to be very good in combat in groups because they're all in tune with each other's like movements and everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
That's
that.
cool. I like that idea.
Like if you look up thought weft trio, you can see the thought weft, how they picture it. See how it's right on their head.
Now this is a champion creature. It's a 4-mana 5/5 first strike vigilant Kithkin soldier. Champion a Kithkin, and then it can block any number of creatures. I remember this card being very strong.
In limited, this card is a house.
Mm-hmm.
First strike vigilance 5/5 for 4.
Very efficient.
Blocks any number of creatures, so
Yep.
you can block enough where you'll be able to kill two of them
and survive.
yeah, survive the third one or something like that.
So it's just almost it's almost similar to Guardian of the Gateless.
Mm-hmm.
It's like almost impossible to attack into.
Mm-hmm.
And this one has the added bonus of having vigilance, so it actually attacks well too.
Yep. The first strike too. It's like the best combination of abilities you could ask for.
So it is a really strong card. I wanted to ask you, what is the reason for Planeswalkers being in this set? Was there an explanation? What was like the story?
They were going to preview Planeswalkers in Future Sight, but they hadn't finalized the way that they were going to work.
I see.
So like that's why Tarmogoyf is in the set. Tarmogoyf was supposed to be Garruk, actually, but they just didn't know how it was going to work, and they hadn't nailed it all down. So they pulled Garruk, put Tarmogoyf in, and put the Planeswalker text in it. And then for Lorwyn, they don't really have a connection to the story. None of them had actually visited Lorwyn. They weren't. It was just there to introduce Planeswalkers. So then in the next block, they could actually put story behind them.
That's kind of disappointing. I was hoping that they included some sort of tie-in since they were in the set.
Nope.
But it should also be noted, all the first generation of Planeswalkers that are from this set were all rare. This predates Mythic rarity. So what's cool about that was you could pull Planeswalkers easier, you know? It wasn't
I remember the first draft I did, I got a foil Garruk Planeswalker, and I was like, okay, I will be taking that.
Yeah, that's right. And there was a time where a foil Garruk Wildspeaker was like $50 or something like that. Pretty crazy. So yeah, as you might imagine, Planeswalkers were very expensive when they first came out. But I remember playing in the first like States event that included it was a standard event, but Lorwyn was just in it, and Time Spiral block was in it, and playing like Garruk Wildspeaker and just wrecking people with it. I loved that card.
He was very good.
I had like a green-blue deck that was like Fairy Conclave and Treetop Villages, and then Mystic Snakes. It was an obnoxious like counterspell deck with Gaia's Anthem too. So all of my like, basically it was like all counterspells and bounces, and then I was killing them with my man lands at the end, because I would just, that's what it was, I was ramping too. So I had like Llanowar Elves, Birds of Paradise, I had all these ramp spells, and then I had all these man lands, and then I would get Wildspeaker online, and it would get to the point where I could overrun and activate all my man lands.
Yeah, Treetop Village was around.
And kill them with like Birds of Paradise and my Llanowar Elves. But I also had Gaia's Anthem, so all my man lands were like more powerful, my rampers were too. It worked out really well for me. I ended up losing against like a really aggressive Elves deck and some sort of green-red deck that I just didn't draw my lands well against. But that was a really fun event, and it definitely indicated to everybody there, everyone knew that Planeswalkers were powerful after that. It was like, oh my god, really? You just get to keep...
Yeah.
It's like, because, everybody was kind of like hesitant. They didn't know how good they were yet. This brand new environment. That was sweet. That was a lot of fun.
And their first iteration of Planeswalkers weren't like...
No, they were good. I thought they did an excellent
but they
job.
weren't like the...
They weren't obnoxious.
Yeah.
It
took them a couple sets to get obnoxious.
They power crept him hard, but then they figured stuff out.
They power crept him real hard. Putting Elspeth in the second like set after Planeswalkers,
And
the
then
second block.
And then a Johnny Vengeance.
It-
I mean,
Yeah, Johnny Vengeance annoying, but I feel like Elspeth is still probably the one that was the best out of that set too. And then Jace, of course, after that.
of course. Oh, of
How
course.
did we forget?
What else do we want to talk about? What were the Morningtide mechanics? That was just reinforced. They must have had something else, though.
Reinforce.
We can look it up. So Morningtide, like Jake said, maybe, no, you just named all the...
Kinship. Morningtide had kinship.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Kinship's a good ability. So Kinship is, each turn you reveal the top card of your... We didn't remember Clash.
You don't reveal.
We didn't remember Clash either from
okay.
Lorwyn. Let's talk about Clash real quick before we go to Morningtide. So
Clash is reveal.
Clash is in Lorwyn, and it's reveal the top. Each player reveals the top card of his library. Whichever player has the whatever spell is the higher converted mana cost, some sort of.
You win the Clash if you have the highest converted mana cost among revealed cards.
And then Clash cards just have different varying abilities based on if you win or if they lose.
Yeah.
Sometimes it rewards you for winning. Sometimes it punishes them for losing. Right? I think that's how it works. It's like Broken Ambitions is like punishment for losing. They mill for it.
No, it's if you win. I think it's always if you win.
No, I'm not saying the wording's different. I'm saying
okay. Yeah,
the effect generated by Clash is a reward for you for winning or a punishment for them for winning. But I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
You're right. It's all one text, but
Sorry.
it's not like always a reward and it's not like always a punishment.
Right.
But they're interesting cards. They were like never really played that much in Constructed. Broken Ambitions being the one exception. Really?
It was too risky. Clash. Too much of the time it was risky. And in
We didn't-
Constructed it's always based on like having lower converted mana cost in your deck anyway.
We didn't name the most important aspect of Clash. We didn't finish that ability.
Right.
You also, with the card that you revealed, regardless of whether you win or lose the Clash, each player
Can choose to
put the card on the top or bottom of their library. So it was actually a really useful limited ability.
Mhm.
I'm sure that's Constructed useful as well. So Broken Ambitions was played in an obnoxious, I think it was Fairies.
For sure, it was very.
But it's cool and it's good. I mean, in limited, if you have a higher converted mana cost deck in general, could be very good. But I think I don't know, if you're getting flooded, clashing and seeing a land on top, it's almost like it's generating you some card advantage there, you know? You're like, I mean, it should be noted it's helping your opponent just as much too, but at least you get some information.
Yeah, but with the instant speed ones, you're getting the benefit first too.
And there's just randomly some really good Clash spells. But did we finish describing Kinship, or did we just mention it? I guess
we just mentioned.
Okay, so Kinship is the Morningtide mechanic. That's it's on a creature. Is it always on creatures? I don't think it's. Maybe it is on an enchantment or tribal one. Maybe, I'm not sure.
I feel like
there could be.
No, I think it's only on creatures.
Well, it's you look at the top card of your library, and then if it shares a creature type with the creature that has Kinship, you may reveal it, and if you do, some sort of effect is generated.
Yeah, and it's always triggered at the beginning of your upkeep.
Yep, and it is a triggered ability, not a activated ability. Very good. Some of the cards in my Shaman's deck, I played Wolfskull Shaman. He's notoriously a very powerful one.
Very annoying.
He's a 1 and a green 2/2. We can just look him up. 1 and a green 2/2 elf shaman, and he has Kinship at the beginning of your upkeep. Look at the top card of your library. Shares creature type. You put a 2/2 green wolf creature token into play. Excellent card. I really liked him. He tended to make armies in the Shaman's deck. Super high rated still. Community rating on him is with 56 votes. He has a 3.99 rating. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
He was Constructed playable. He's probably still Modern playable in the Shaman's deck. Good value. I don't know anything about Modern though, so don't quote me on that.
Yeah. I don't either.
Yeah, because I think actually Modern's combo obnoxious right now. You still have. They moved it back, but they just brought back the Scape Shift deck because they didn't think it was. Because they were. I think their reasoning was if it wins the same turn as Deceiver Exarch combo wins, might as well just let them have it. Because some people just liked the Scape Shift deck.
Yeah.
But it's like turn 4 win with those decks. The Deceiver Exarch combo is both Splinter Twin and there's actually so
Kiki
many ways to
Jiki,
do it right now.
Pestermite, and Deceiver Exarch.
So
So there's
yeah,
all those. Not only that, but you can also do it with Restoration Angel if you have Kiki Jiki,
hmm
and you can also do it with
the three,
Village Bellringer
yeah,
if you have either one.
really obnoxious.
Yeah.
Very
So you can
very
literally
stifling
play only
deck.
combo cards in your deck if you really wanted to.
But there's probably ways in Modern to host that combo, right? Can you not duress? There's probably something better. Inquisition. Is there any way you can just shut off that combo? Like, what's the cheapest way to like memoricide that ability in Modern? There must be something. Maybe not, but
I mean, you can play Pithing Needle and name Kiki Jiki, but like you'd also have to name Deceiver Exarch, Pestermite, Village Bellringer if they're in the white one.
yeah, they get too many things. Splinter Twin's
Yeah,
obnoxious.
Splinter Twin is really the problem. Like once you try and hose one part of it, you can't hose the other part as easily.
But I mean, I can't dismiss combo players. Some people just love combo.
Yeah.
I understand.
Is there a way to stop all activated abilities of creatures?
Probably.
I feel like there should be that effect somewhere.
But I mean, it's funny that's the beauty of Magic, and I
Oh,
think,
Torpor Orb does it.
oh, I
It
see.
stops enters the battlefield abilities.
Yeah, it doesn't stop Kiki Jiki though.
Yeah, it does. He'll only get one tap to activate it.
Oh, because then they enter the
Yeah,
battlefield. No,
and
you're
nothing
right.
happens.
So that would work. That isn't out to the combo. I'm sure that's
So 4 Torpor Orbs in your sideboard.
maybe if that's the best one. But I was gonna say the beauty of Magic is there's so many different types of players, and I think that's why the game is so enticing to so many different people. Is because you've got the control players.
Yeah, it's
and
so
you got
many
the
different
aggro
things to
players.
different people. Yeah.
You got people. It almost is like the way they are in real life. You know, it's like if they're like these trying to be these gung ho people, maybe they're the ones that make really deliberate like hard decisions. They're the aggro players. And then the people that are like thoughtful and really creative, and they want to do some, they want to just offend to all and just make their opponent want to strangle them. That's the control players.
Control combo.
And then I guess there's not really like a mid-range player, but combo players for sure. People who love just like playing 7 cards in one turn, or in the case of the Eggs deck and Legacy before it got banned, it was playing 1,000,000 cards in one turn.
I think they banned it in Modern, didn't they?
Second Sunrise.
Yeah.
I don't even know. See, I'm only savvy when it comes to standard constructed and limited. I do want to diversify more. And actually, someone mentioned someone emailed me and talked about how they want to see Return of Ravnica block decks. I'm kind of game for that. Maybe you can help me design one. But we could come up with, we could almost like look at what's popular in block. I'm sure there's some way to do that.
Block ones.
Did you see some cool decks?
Control was around.
Let's look at Return to Ravnica block decks, and we'll see what in Google comes up first. Crashing block constructed. So this would be fun to do online, I think. Sorry, we kind of strayed away from, I kind of went on a tangent away from Lorwyn and Morningtide, but we are going to draft that at the end. I think we went over all the mechanics at least, so you're aware of those. It would take forever to go over all the individual cards, but we'll go through it during the drafting process. To watch the full draft, you're going to have to go to SeemsGoodMagic.com because the podcast is just going to include the drafting portion, as usual. Okay, wait, this is a block? Are these block decks?
Maybe.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Okay, blue-white control. This is a... Wow, this looks obnoxious.
Lee of Skynight is sweet.
It's 4 Angel of Serenity, 4 Lee of Skynight, 1 Precinct Captain, 4 Jace Architect of Thought, 9 Island, 11 Plane, 4 Azorius Guildgate, 4 Hallowed Fountain, 1 Azorius Key Rune, 4 Detention Sphere, 4 Azorius Charm, 4 Sphinx's Revelation, 4 Syncopate,
and only 2 Supreme Verdict? That
2 Supreme Verdict.
Strange.
So wait, looks like it's pre-Gate Crash actually. I'm not seeing any Gate Crash cards. I think this is too old.
Yeah, that is really old.
So we're gonna have to look back. The new best text was Return to Ravnica. Maybe this is. It's gonna be the same thing.
Yeah.
But zombies.
That's standard.
Blue-white. Oh, okay. Building blocks. There's probably a way to check it. I should figure out how to do that. Actually, there's a way to do it online. There is a way to do it online. Um, I should just ask chat with support. But yeah, there's a way you can look at all of the decks, the deck lists. I think that one online.
Can't you go to the mothership and look at decks of the week?
Maybe. Let's do that. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's where you do it. So go to magicgathering.com, daily MTG. And let's look at which one?
Decks of the week down there.
Decks
Right
of
there.
the
Up.
week.
There.
And standard on Magic on. Oh, here we go. Mad, Modern, Legacy, Pauper. Here we go. Block
But that's
Constructed.
without
Perfect.
Dragon's Mage still, but
That's okay.
fine.
This is perfect. So, Obsidat has that blue. This is the same guy that had that other
Yeah,
list.
it is.
He's still playing blue-eye control. That was that last list we looked at. So it's pretty similar, actually. He looks like he just added.
Obsidat.
He added Obsidat.
And
Instead, it took out.
Took out Angels. That's one Angel now.
Maybe that wasn't working as well for him. But other than that, the deck is almost identical.
All 4 Supreme Verdict's main deck now.
Wow, that looks like a strong deck. Someone else is doing pretty similar version with some Devour Fleshes, Psychic Strikes. Interesting. I guess it's probably good in the mirror match. Take out their Obsidat. Wait, 2 Obsidats can be cycling, can't they?
Theirs can be on
Oh,
while
no.
yours is off. Yeah, because yours exiles out on your turn
That sounds obnoxious.
and comes in
so,
on your turn.
So actually, 2 Obsidats can be
They basically will
negate each other
the 2 life loss, but deal 5 damage potentially each turn.
if they can get an attack, and that's a good point. Okay, so here's like a red deck wins. This is more of what I wanted to look at because I'm sure this is a very, very cheap deck to make. Don't you think?
Well, Boros Reckoner.
Okay. Oh well, that's the expensive part. They've gotten cheaper online too. They're only like about 5.7
Oh,
takes last I checked. So they're still like what, $20 in real life?
something like that. Maybe only 15. I don't know.
Hopefully they went down a little bit. But anyway, so 19 lands, 19 mountains, 4 Ash Zealot, 4 Boros Reckoner, 4 Burning Tree Emissary, 4 Fire Fist Striker, 4 Foundry Street Denizen, 4 Gorehouse Chainwalker, 4 Legion Loyalist, 4 Rakdos Cackler, 1 Act of Treason, 4 Dyna Charge, 4 Mizium Mortars. Cool deck. I feel like with Dragon's Maze they can change Dyna Charge to the First Strike one.
Yeah.
That could be
For
doable.
2 mana instead.
But actually, Ash Zealot and Boros Reckoner already have access to First Strike. And Fire Fist Striker just makes you so you're good in attacking. This looks like a pretty cheap deck and good deck to play. Like you probably would only have to pay about 20 ticks to get your 4 Boros Reckoner. Maybe a little bit more. But other than that, what? Legion Loyalist is nothing.
Mizium Mortars.
Is pretty
Ash
cheap.
Zealot.
You can get Mizium Mortars for like 50 cents or something online. So yeah, this is a very easy. The 1 Active Treason main deck is kind of cool, but that's just his version of it. I'm sure you can tweak this a little bit, but yeah, it looks pretty consistent, pretty fast. Let's see. This is another one of those. It looks like the blue-eye control list is pretty popular. Here's a strange looking deck. So this looks like it's a, how many colors?
9?
Yeah, okay, so it's like a Naya deck. It's got Loxodon Smiters, Keening Apparition, Gyre Sages, Experiment Ones, Deadbridge Goliath, Centaur Healers, Boros Reckoner, Aurelia the War Leader, Angel of Serenity, Sideboard Plan, Symbol of Legion. I'm sure that's good in that blue-eye match.
Yeah, too bad they played Detention Sphere.
Oh, that's right. So I guess they have the out for it.
Apparition also.
But still, this looks like a fun deck. It went 3-1, so it's an interesting looking deck. Gyre Sage, I like. Is it Gyre or Gyre?
I feel like it's Gyre, but I've always said Gyre.
Maybe it is Gyre. Well, let's go back to dictionary.com. Yes, we were looking at pictures of Therese Nielsen. We wanted to see if she was cute.
We weren't sure.
Well, we expected no, I'll be honest, but she turned out to be.
You don't need Sage. You just Gyre.
Yeah. Just used to type in the full card name. Ring or circle.
It is Gyre.
Gyre. So it is Gyre. Okay. A circular course or motion. Interesting. I like that card though, and I actually like it in constructed. Someone has been doing sort of like an obnoxious red-green list that's not quite as fast as the red-green lists that have been popping up in Constructed, but I really like Iron Sage alongside Bonfire of the Damned because it's like you're buffing it. They're going to ramp more. They're just going to make your Bonfire that much more obnoxious. Plus, it turns into a relevant body after 1 evolve, but after 2 evolve, it's actually like a good beater. So Iron Sage is a good card in Constructed. I like it. Ooh, this looks like a spicy deck. This is another Nihilist.
Yeah.
Yep, another Nihilist. Nihilist.
Oh, now I get it.
It's got Trostani in it. Smiter, Gyre Sages. Pretty much the same thing, but it's also got Armada Worms. Kind of, which is the penis card if you didn't know already. Armada Worms. What was the? It was and Corpse Jack Menace. It was Armada Worm and Corpse Jack Menace because Corpse Jack Menace looks like a vagina. It does. Well, we should put them side by side. It'd be funny. Flashback between them. Corpse Jack Menace.
Oh, you're right.
So it's like, pew, 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 pew.
You don't want these on the same team.
It's kind of funny. Especially since they're in the same set.
Yeah.
Any other unusual decks? Looks like
Red deck.
another red deck. Looks like no one's here. This looks like an aggressive
Selesnya?
Yeah, aggressive Selesnya deck. Call of the Conclave, Selesnya Charm, Slaughterhorn, Precinct Captain. I really like Selesnya Charm for the Obsidots.
Yeah. Also takes out Angel of Serenity.
So you've got good outs for the... What else do they beat you with? They do have Sphinx's Revelation, but 4 Jaces. What's Jace Ultimate do again?
Just lets you play a spell from your deck and their deck for free.
I've yet to see that Ultimate.
It's not that good.
Have you played it? What's the best?
I've done it before,
What's
but
the best you've gotten?
It's not like the greatest.
You
Getting
get to
a
play it
giant
for free,
creature,
right?
yeah, is good. But like usually drawing more cards is the best you can do with Jace. So that's usually what you
unfortunately, getting their opposite out if you exile it, it comes back in. Under...
No, I think it's under your control, isn't it? Read Obsidian. No, it is owner's control, so it is mind control effect.
So you can't.
You can't steal it.
It's kind of cool, actually.
Back, yeah.
He doesn't betray you that well.
Yeah.
This deck looks fun though. This looks like I could actually make this deck. It's pretty cheap.
Dead Bridge Goliath too on the sideboard.
This looks like I might consider this one. I actually have Temple Gardens too, so I can make this deck. I'll look into this one. Slaughterhorn, Precinct Captain, it's cheap. Smiters, Frontline Medics, looks like it's fun. Experiment 1, yeah. So I might build this. I guess Smiters are worth a couple tickets, but that's not a big deal. Call the Conclave's cool. Ooh, this looks pretty consistent. I like the sideboard plan. Got the Guild Mages for the long game, I'm guessing. Rootborn for Supreme Verdicts. Apparitions for Detention Spheres. Judge's Familiar, just slow their stuff down. Druid's Deliverance for red deck, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Get some more Call of the Conclave. That's
yeah,
cool.
4 of them. Yeah.
And you already main deck in Centaur Healer. I'm assuming Centaur Healer comes out in the control match for probably Guild Mage, some Rootborns.
Yeah, most likely.
Something like that. I like the Slaughterhorn in the list too, though. That's cool. Getting the Blood Rush. It's good juke. What else is new in Block Constructed? This looks like another similar list. What colors have we seen almost none of? I guess
Dimir, is represented only in the Esper build.
So let's see another week if we can find something a little more unusual or a little more diverse, I guess would be a better one to say. Let's see. Oh, the quad Almsbees deck. 4 Almsbees, 4 Boros Reckoner, 4 Obsidian. That's a good 3-4-5 plan.
Yeah. And just removing everything then?
Cool deck. It's got 4 Aurelia's Fury.
4 Rakdos's return as well. And then 3 Rakdos's return, 3 Rakdos Keyrune.
Aurelia's Fury pretty interesting.
A little bit.
That's funny. Yeah, wait, what's it ramping with? Oh, the Keyrune. Is that
and
it?
It plays 27 land.
Oh, wow. They want to hit their land bad. My God. That's interesting
That is a
one.
lot of land.
Yeah, it is. They don't have any draw
But
effects
they're
either.
playing
They're playing,
Aurelia's Fury
yeah.
that, like, Dreadbore, Devour Flesh, they're removing everything you play.
And then it's just all 2-drop removal. That's a really interesting deck.
And I guess Rakdos Keyrune doubles as an attacker later.
It looks like red deck is keeping up. Ooh, this one had Madcap skills in it. I like that. That's spicy. Main deck. Night Veil Spectre.
With some Dimir.
That's interesting. It's the first time I've seen that.
Ooh.
This is a symbol of the
Creatureless
Legion deck, I'm guessing. Yeah, there are no creatures in this deck. How's this winning? So it's got a symbol. What else? Aurelia's Fury, that's not going to win. Firemind's Foresight. Interesting.
Is it Charm?
They can look for 3.
Psychic Spiral.
Oh, that's how they're winning. Okay. So they're just filling their graveyard and then milling you out. That's one way to win. A symbol's another way to win. Interesting that this deck went 3-1. It's all about the Azorius Charm. Card's so good.
Uses Sphinx's Revelation and Thought Flare.
And Sphinx's Revelation, definitely strong too, yeah. What else have we got? This is kind of an unusual little Esper deck. Oh, here we go.
Grixis.
Spicy looking Grixis deck. So, WinCon, Consuming Aberration. That
I'm happy
looks
to
like
see it.
that. You know, I could make this deck fairly easily too. I guess I do have Steam Vents. I don't have Watery Graves. I guess they're pretty cheap online. But this deck looks fun. So far, it looks like this Lesnia deck is the easiest one for me to build. But come on, how badly do you want to beat your opponent with Consuming Aberration? What else are they doing? They must be milling then otherwise too, right?
Not really. It doesn't look like it.
I guess you just
Rakdos'
need to
return.
just resolve your Consuming Aberration. You're good.
The return does a lot though for you.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Counterflex.
Is interesting. Why would they? Oh, because it can't.
Because of
yeah,
blue-white control is around.
Yep. I forgot that card for a second. Here's another creatureless deck. You gotta be kidding me.
Prophetic Prisms in this one.
This one's also not doing a symbol, so this one just wins with Psychic Spiral.
Rakdos' return.
So were they Psychic?
It can blast them with return.
For enough?
Over like 3 times. And then Psychic Spiral.
I have to admit, they must just be super geared to beat the control decks. You know what I mean? They must just try and do that really bad. Because think how bad Rakdos' return is in that aggro, the red deck wins match.
Yeah.
Just the worst you could have. Ooh, here's a spicy little pack rat. It went 3-1. So it's running Deadbridge Goliath, Drag Manglers, Gatecreeper Vines, Lotleth Trolls, 4 pack rats, 4 Wasteland Vipers. Vipers are interesting too. It's a good time buyer.
Charm is a good idea.
4 Abrupt Decay, 4 Devour Flesh, 4 Golgari Charm, 3 Underworld Connections, 3 Vraska. Vraska is also cool to see.
Destroys Planeswalkers outright.
Now, Whispering Madness out of the sideboard is very interesting. They only have Dimir Guildgate to get it, but they can search it up with Gatecreeper Vine. So why do they want Whispering Madness?
Because
just to feed the Lotleth Troll?
Milling their creatures actually
turns
is okay
on,
with their
turns on Scavenge, turns on Drag Mangler.
Do they have even more out of the sideboard, or what? No, they don't.
It's interesting.
That is kind of interesting.
Why so many Whispering Madness?
Maybe because it counters control. They can play out their hand fast enough to where a Whispering Madness on turn 4 or 5 is fine.
I have to admit, it's cool to see Pack Rat, because Pack Rat does work well alongside Scavenge.
Helps to refill their hand for Pack Rat too. With Whispering Madness.
So this looks like an actual deck I could build fairly easily too. I guess I don't have the Overgrown Tombs, but I definitely have 4 Pack Rats. What else we got? Anything cool? We're running about an hour 50 right now. I'm not opposed to Desecration Demon in this deck. That's interesting. I'm not opposed to starting the draft now. What do you say? All right.
Yeah.
So hopefully people are in the mood to play Lorwyn right now. May 9th is when the pre-release is online. Definitely looking forward to that. And, oh, we're pretty close to starting here, so that's not bad. Not too shabby. So, yeah, I'm hopefully get a little bit of insight and we do too, about this this block. Oh, it should also be noted, Oblivion Ring first appeared in Lorwyn and at Common.
Yeah. Then they
That was,
reprinted it in shards at Common as well.
yeah, and then from then on it's been uncommon. I guess it just came back in
It's
core
only
set.
been in core sets since then. Yeah.
But it is uncommon in core set. It's easily one of the best limited cards, and sees plenty of constructed play. So, all right, draft started. Picked a good time. And just waiting. All right. So, Eyes of the Wizened. Let's bring up this little card thing so people can see it.
Eyes isn't a great card.
Okay. So, uncommons, we have Briarhorn, which is a pretty excellent card. 4 mana. This is the precursor to what's the obnoxious one from?
Alpha.
Yeah.
But
no. Oh, is that right? No, I was thinking of the one from Dark Ascension.
it is Howlpack Alpha.
Oh, weird. I thought it had a different name. But anyway, Howlpack Alpha is better, but this card is still...
No, this card's better.
It is?
Howlpack Alpha is only +2/+2, or it's a 2/3, and it doesn't have Evoke.
Oh, interesting.
But it's the same mana cost.
Well, this card's phenomenal. I think we want to slam...
Card's amazing.
We want to slam the Briarhorn then. But there's also a Spell Stutter Sprite in here. We're passing a little bit of a Giant Signal. Leaf Gilder, because it's on color, kind of sucks we're passing that, because Leaf Gilder is a very strong card. Pestermite in here. Neck Snap, certainly playable removal. Kinsbale Balloonist is actually decent. I actually like Balloonist quite a bit, but we're just going to slam the Briarhorn. Alright, pack 2, we've got some options here. Hamletback Goliath is in the pack. There's also Tar Pitcher, Guardian of the Cloverdell, Broken Ambitions, Guiltleaf Ambush is a pretty good spell. Stink Drinker Daredevil. This is an elemental. I wouldn't mind playing elementals again, but what do you think is the best card remaining in this pack? Probably Tar Pitcher, right?
Tar Pitcher is probably the best.
Can you do green-red, or does that not ever work?
But then you'll want to pick up Caterwauling, Bogart.
Could do elementals, but you do have to sack a goblin to make it work, so you pretty much have to be... But if you are in the goblin strategy, this card is very good. So, do we want to stay on color? Because I do want to play the Briarhorn. Do we want to take the Guiltleaf Ambush, or is that not good enough?
Guiltleaf Ambush is very good.
Alright, I think Guiltleaf Ambush is pretty good too. And if we have a higher enough mana cost, we can do some cool stuff with it. It's surprised. Sometimes it just is a blowout, so potential 2-for-1 value on that. We're going to take the Guiltleaf Ambush. Okay. Next pack has a Leaf Gilder in it, which I'm definitely cool with taking. There's also, the rare is Nettlevine Blight, but that's not very good. Captivating Glance is kind of a cool little removal spell, but they can get it back. I think we just slam the Leaf Gilder here.
Okay.
There's also Root Grapple in here, which is pretty good. Decent, at least. Take out a splash.
Guiltleaf Ambush 2.
Alright, so this next pack has Favor the Mighty is the rare. Neck Snap. Smoke Raider's in here. I do like Smoke Raider quite a bit. Really lets you do any color elemental. So we have a chance to do that. Guiltleaf Ambush might just be good enough to take.
I would rather take the elf cards.
Okay, we can go down the elf route, and Briarhorn is still very good in that. And so far we're getting good elves. Moonglove Winnower is also in here. Who's a 2/3 Death Touch for 4. Guiltleaf Ambush is a 3 mana. I guess we need to be reading this because people don't know what the hell these do, and the audio listeners.
Yeah.
So it's 3 mana tribal instant elf. Put 2 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens onto the battlefield. Clash with an opponent. If you win, these creatures gain Death Touch until end of turn. It's very strong. I don't like passing the Smoke Raider, but let's stick with elves. Maybe we'll make that work. Alright, next pack. Dolmen Gate is actually pretty cool. If we end up with the Omega all-in elf deck. There's also Kithkin Daggerdeer, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Really makes it so they can't block very effectively. I kind of like that. Warren Pilfers lets you
return a creature, so it's a Gravedigger. That's a 3/3 for 5. If it's a Goblin that you return, you also get a haste 3/3 for 5.
It's also Vivid Crag for splashes, but I think it's Dolmen Gate, Kithkin Daggerdeer, or Warren Pilfers here. Pilfers gets into another color. Kithkin Daggerdeer is not an elf, but it's fine with all the 1/1s we're going to have. Dolmen Gate is very good if you want to just keep attacking, but let's just take the Dagger Dare. I know that card's good. It's a good. It makes them question all their blocks, so it can be really obnoxious to play against. So it looks like we're on an elf route so far. Ooh, Auntie's Hovel.
Lignify
cool.
as well.
Alright, so Lignify, Treefolk, Harbinger. Lignify is a 2-mana enchant creature, Treefolk aura. Enchant creatures 0/4 Treefolk with no abilities. Interesting. There's also Firebelly Changeling, Rebellion of the Flamekin. I guess we can take Lignify. It's not great for us, though.
No, we definitely want bigger creatures if we're playing Lignify, but
It's fine. It disables bombs, and it takes away their abilities, so we had it played against our Spite Bellows, which is a really good play,
Seed
and that was
Guide Ash
obnoxious.
is really good to pick up here.
Alright, there's also Lace with Moonglove, but let's read Seed Guide Ash. It's when it dies, search your library for up to 3 forest cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped. If you do, shuffle your library. It's a 5-mana 4/4. Yeah, I'm on board with him. He feels pretty good. Lace with Moonglove is very good with all the 1/1s we have too. It's a 3-mana instant. Target creature gains Death Touch until end of turn, draw a card.
I feel like we can hope to pick more of those up.
Yeah,
so.
Seed Guide Ash is an uncommon, and I like it. It looks like the power level on it's fairly high. Springjack Knight's an interesting card. So this pack has a Vivid Creek. It also has Protective Bubble, Lowland Oath, Quill Slinger, Boggart, Springjack Knight. Which one do you like the most?
Well, Quillslinger Bogart brings us into black, which is the elf color combination. Springjack Knight lets us go Kithkin and elf, green-white. I kind of like Springjack Knight myself. But
you can go Selesnya and be okay?
Well, yeah, I think so.
I guess we'll pick it up. Might not go that. Just trying to see what's open right now. Alright, Elvish Eulogist I don't really like all that much. Table the Eyes of the Wizened, but it's not that good anyway.
Lairwatch
Giant's a 6-drop, 5/3. Can block an additional creature. When it blocks 2 or more creature, gains first strike. It's decent. It's not bad.
It kept people from attacking, I remember.
Yeah, we can take that. Hillcomber Giant now. There's also Elvish Handservant. And it's whenever a player casts a giant spell. I see. It's a good sideboard, but there's also Nat's Buffoon, which is good against our elves.
Caterwauling Bogart if you wanted to go green-red still. Or Hillcomber. Let somebody else go red.
I guess we'll take Hillcomber because Landwalk seems pretty good.
Dodger or Wismere here?
Dodger is a 1-mana 1/1 Kithkin Rogue, can't be blocked by creatures powerful or greater. Not that great.
No, it's not.
Wismere could be useful, so we'll take it.
It's a flyer at the very least. I think Glare Wielder is really obnoxious. I'm very surprised it made it this late.
So it's a 5-mana 3/1 haste. When it enters the battlefield, up to 2 target creatures can't block this turn. Wow. That is strong.
And you can evoke it.
Let's take it. Just trying to, we can maybe play Naya, so we'll take the Vivid Creek here, or Vivid Crag.
Yeah.
Shields. Alright. It's a trick.
Rebellion's not good at all.
Exile Boggart is playable, not exciting though. Let's just get rid of it for now. It looks like we're probably a Naya shell of some sort at the moment.
We're green.
Springjack Knight's not very good though, unless you can activate it, so we just don't have enough Knights to support it really. Shields does.
Springjack Knight clashes when it attacks, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to win the clash to give it double strike.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one to play. We picked up some good green cards though, definitely. And we still can go down the elf path.
Cryptic Command.
If we have that.
Can you pass that? No,
no,
you can't.
I don't know how much it's worth, but I'm assuming a bunch. Can't imagine that card's cheap. 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just did good. So easily taking Cryptic. What are we hoping to table? It's also Nameless Inversion.
Fertile Ground.
Just take the Cryptic. Be happy.
Next pack, Bitter Blossom.
Hopefully, well, it'd be nice to see an Imperious Perfect, or a Bramblewood Paragon. But We're not getting enough tribal synergies right now, which is kind of my issue with this deck at the moment. But just continue to take good cards in these 3 colors, hopefully. We don't even have to play the red necessarily. Could still be green-white, but maybe we should be green-black instead, because that's where you're going to get a lot more elf synergies. Guess we'll see what we open.
Yeah.
Alright. Warren Scourge Elf.
There's
Lizalana Huntmaster, I think I'm happy enough taking. It's pretty strong. What else is good in here? Consuming Bonfire is a 5 mana. Deal 4 to a non-elemental or 7 to a tree folk. Lizalana Huntmaster is a 4 mana 3/3. When you cast an elf spell, you get a 1/1 elf. It's pretty good. I think we probably want that one because Guildleaf Ambushes count as elf spells as well, so then it's like surprise blocks. Woodland Guidance is 4 mana. Return a card from your graveyard to your hand. Clash. If you win, untap all forests you control. Interesting card. Rune Stalactites, cool too for if you have the right tribal synergies. I think we'll just easily take the Huntmaster here, happily. It's a good 4-drop. Good reason to jump into elves here. Battle Wand Oak is actually just really good.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Clover
Knights is really good too.
It's a 3 mana 1/3, and when it enters the battlefield, when you play a forest, it's +2/+2. When you cast a tree folk, it's +2/+2. Don't have a ton of tree folk, but we do have one other one at least. Too bad that's not tree folk. Which one did you just say?
Clover Knights.
Clover Knight's a 5 mana 3/3 flying first strike. That's true. That is good. There's also makeshift Manigan in here, which is good. I think I'm cool with the Battle Wand Oak because we could pick up some more tree folk, and I can't stress enough. Battle Wand Oak is a good beater. We might be close to still be able to jump into green-black possibly. We don't have to play the red or the white yet. We got enough green, just mono green playables so far. So let's just keep picking up some good ones. I mean, it behooves us to go into a second color, but so maybe makeshift could have been an option since it's on color with
it's not like
the
we
elf
have a
strategy.
ton of things that we want to get back yet, though.
You can get it from their graveyard too, though, which is cool. All right, here's a sweet elf card. So Ren's Run Vanquisher is a 2 mana 3/3, but you have to reveal it
out of opponent's graveyards.
Oh, I thought you could. I'm pretty sure you can. Maybe you're right. I'm pretty sure you can. Reveal an elf card from your hand or pay 3, and it has Death Touch. So 2 mana 3/3 Death Touch, but you have to. Otherwise, it's. Oh, you can't actually play it unless you do. Okay, that's still okay though. There's also another Guildleaf Ambush in here and another Battle Wand Oak, which I'd really like, but Vanquisher definitely trumps all that. Really.
Even as a 5 mana 3/3 Death Touch, it's still fine.
And elves are very good just to go into. I got whooped by them. So far, how many elf spells do we have? That's not. Oh, this is cool with the Battle Wand Oak though. So we have. Well, all right. Next pack, another Leaf Gilder. There's also Changeling Titan. I think we want the Leaf Gilder. Get some more access to more mana. I like the idea of turn 3 Huntmaster. I think that's just, I want to get that consistently. Plus it's a 2 mana 2/1. Leaf Gilder is just very good for the elf strategy.
Okay.
Changeling Titan is pretty good though. Doesn't have to, it's a 5 mana 7/7 Changeling, but it has champion a creature. So questionable. We passed a removal spell earlier for something. I don't know what it was. Ooh, Elvish Promenade. It's another tribal elf spell. There's also Cloud Crown Oak, which is a good blocker. Also Oak Gnarl Warrior. So Cloud Crown Oak's 4 mana 3/4 reach. Tree Folk Warrior. Elvish Promenade's 4 mana tribal sorcery elf. Put a 1/1 green elf
We
for
should
each.
take that.
Okay, I think we take the Promenade too. We have a couple ambushes. So we have means to.
Listolana Huntmaster too.
Yep, good point.
Put one out before it resolves.
So we're elves at this point. Unfortunately, we didn't end up getting into this sweet uncommon lords, but we still look like we're pretty effective beatdown. Let's take out the other colors for now. Another Battle Wand Oak tabled, so I think looks like we're almost mono green right now. We're gonna have to play a second color, but we're not decided yet. There's also a Warren Scourge Elf, but let's take the Battle Wand Oak. Because Battle Wand Oak's going to reward us so much more for being almost mono green, you know? Then it's like it has landfall.
Yeah, it does.
It's like Yeah, in fact, this is probably like one of the original landfall creatures.
Yeah. Vine Lasher Kudzu is actually, I think, the very first one that always triggered on land drops.
So we have to go second color, and we already have picks in white, I guess, the most. Oh, wow.
Guiltleaf Seer?
Guiltleaf Seer is a 3-mana, 2/2 Elf Shaman. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, put them back in any order. Decent.
You might
It's also
want Bog Strider.
Oaknar Warrior. We have double ramp. Bog Strider is a 4-mana, 2/4 Swamp Walk. Whenever a player casts a Goblin spell, you can pay 2 and gain 2. That's really good, too. So we like that more than the 7-drop, probably.
I guess, I don't know, it's your call.
We don't have much
7-drop
removal
is
is
really
kind of
good,
an issue.
too.
We do have a Lignify. Bog Strider Ash, I guess, rewards us more for playing the Leaf Gilders. Guiltleaf Seer is going to help with consistency. I'm going to take Bog Strider Ash. Kind of like it. Okay, next pack has Oaken Brawler. So maybe we can play white. Oaken Brawler is a 4-mana, 2/4. When it enters the battlefield, Clash if you win. Becomes a 3/5. Gets +1/+1 counter. Dawn Fluke do. Enters the battlefield, prevent 3 damage will be dealt to target creature or player. It's actually pretty good. It's a nice trick.
It's okay.
It's only it's a 4-mana 0/3 flash with prevent 3, but you can also evoke it at flash. It's like the Brawler. Works with our other tree folk. Springleaf Drum's actually not bad.
If there's a possibility
We already
could
have a
go
couple,
mono
though.
green, Woodland Guidance might be okay, but Warren Scourge is good too because it could be relevant protection. Always blocks Changelings.
Let's take the Warren Scourge off sideboard at the very least. Got the Hunt down, which is back, which is really nice. It's also Sin's Air,
Not good
but
for us.
yeah, we want the Hunt down. So Hunt down's like the precursor to
Oh, wow.
tail and a 3rd Battle Wand Oak, which we'll happily grab.
Yeah.
Amazing that we're getting all this back. Could take the Eulogist.
Eulogist?
We already have a Layer Watch, our Giant. Let's just take it. Hopefully you don't have to play it, but so far we have a decent
Wow.
looking. Got the
Foil. Oh, no.
We're definitely the one of the few in green, so that's nice. 29 cards now, so let's start cutting some things.
Got the red. Got Cryptic.
Cryptic, not playing you. So this is
Got Wismare. Most likely, and Falkrander.
got another Stonehewer Giant.
No,
Didn't get any
got the
equipment
Wismare.
though. Yeah, we opened the same Morningtide rare as we did in our
Thornbite Staff.
Winnower Patrol is very good.
Thornbite Staff works well with Death Touch, and we have Ren's Run Vanquisher at least right now.
That's true. Thornbite Staff is very good. I think we want the Winnower Patrol for just Elf's sake, because we have so many now. And that one just keeps getting bigger.
Okay.
Winnower Patrol is 3-mana, 3/2 Elf Warrior.
Also works with our Warriors, which we have Brawler,
Nice.
3 Battle Wand Oak.
Yeah, this card's incredible for us actually.
Yeah.
It's a 3-mana, 3/2 Kinship, and if you find the card that shares a creature type, it gets +1/+1 counter.
Weight of Consciousness is good too.
Sweet card. So happy to take the Winnower Patrol. Rage Forger's in here. Honorable mention. My favorite. Morningtide. What else is in here?
Weight of Consciousness.
Weight of Consciousness
Or Conscience.
is
I'm sorry.
Weight of Conscience is 2-mana. Enchanted creature can't attack. Tap 2 untapped creatures you control. Share a creature type. Exile it. That is cool. Happy to take the Winnower Patrol. All right, next pack. Elvish Warrior is a 2-mana, 2/3, 2 green for a 2/3 Elf Warrior. Pretty good. Everbark Shaman's a 5-mana, 3/5. Exile Tree Folk card from your graveyard. Search your library for 2 forest cards. Put them on the battlefield tapped. Pretty good with the Battle Wand Oaks. Triple of them.
Yeah.
Let's still make some cuts. I think we're probably not playing white, honestly.
Falkrander.
I don't mind maybe splashing for that. Oh wait,
For
no,
Falkrander?
not for a Falkrander, for the other
The
red one, I
Glare
guess,
Wielder?
yeah. But
Get
I
rid of
think
Wismare.
I think we can actually get rid of.
Hillcomber Giant for sure. Spring the Dark Knight. I mean,
We
and
almost
we're in it only for Oaken Brawler. At
Yeah,
this
we can-
point,
we
just
can-
take out the Oaken Brawler.
yeah, we can pretty much just play mono green, I guess.
Take the
Strange.
Warrior
I'm
then.
not like Spite Bells in here. That's insanely strong. Maybe that's worth picking up. Elvish Warrior. Do we need it? We already have 15 creatures. Spite Bellows could just be
I
the.
think you want as many elves as you can get for your.
How many do we have?
Lissalana
We have some.
Huntmaster
It
and
ran
your
out of time,
Shaman.
unfortunately. The problem is Spite Bellows is so much better.
Ambassador Oak.
Alright, Ambassador Oak is a 4-mana 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, put a 1 green elf warrior creature token on the battlefield. Cool.
I'd
So
rather have it than Boss Banneret.
fits in with our strategy. The Boss Banneret would be cool because it makes our Shaman... I'm not sure if we got Elf Shamans.
Only Tree Folk.
Let's
really.
hide the Eulogist. I doubt we're going to end up playing... I guess we don't have to hide yet. I like the Ambassador Oak quite a bit. You're right. That's cool. Nothing else really on color with here. Noggin Wax, an obnoxious card. Intimidator strong. Alright, Ambassador Oak is good tree folk to get. Wow, can go Border Guard. It's obnoxious. This pack, not much.
Obsidian Battle Axe is really good.
Not much on color with us, but you're right. We're going to slam the Obsidian Battle Axe. So the Obsidian Battle Axe is a 3-mana warrior equipment. Keep in mind this also triggers your Winnower Patrol.
Yep.
It's a tribal equipment. Pretty awesome. So it's a 3-mana. Equips for 3.
Equips to Gilt Leaf Ambush tokens when they come out.
And Battle Wand Oaks.
Yeah.
It's a +2/+1 and has haste. Obsidian Battle Axe is actually phenomenal in this deck. So we look like we're just a straight beatdown deck. But we're going to have... There's a lot of Bowmaster probably worth taking. We don't have much removal.
Earthbound's good too.
Earthbound is a 2-mana... Oh, you're right. It's a trick. Maybe we want the trick more than the creature. But this creature is pretty cool. We have a lot of elf spells and it just annihilates flyers.
Takes out fairies really well.
But Earthbound is a 2-mana target creature gets +3/+3, or it has Reinforce. So it's Giant Growth versus a creature that we're definitely in a main deck, but because we can already replace that with it. I guess I'm down with that. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
It's good. People are going to be playing some flyers.
Oh, great Doyen and Bramblewood Paragon, but
I think the Paragon's probably... Alright,
yeah.
the Doyen is a 5-mana. Other archer creatures you control get +1/+1. This is interesting. I've forgotten about this card. Whenever an archer creature you control deals damage to a creature, that archer deals that much damage to that creature's controller. Wow, that's fun.
So with multiple Bowmasters against the right deck, it's really good. But Bramblewood
Paragon's a 2-mana 2/2. Each other warrior creature you control. Oh, I thought it was
so
elves.
much better for us.
I thought it was elves, but still. Gets an additional +1/+1 counter, and then each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has trample.
We're like almost all warriors.
So Bramblewood is excellent in this deck. Happy to take it. Game Trail Changeling is an elf. What's Reigns of the Vine Seed? 4-mana enchant creature. Gets enchant creatures +2/+2. When the creature dies, you can return Reigns of the Vine Seed from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to a creature that shares a creature type with that creature. That is pretty good. Do you like that more than the Changeling? I guess we have enough creatures. We could take just...
I guess that Changeling
this has a chance to get 2/4.
Really good.
Yeah, actually, the Game Trail Changeling is a 5-mana 4/4 trample Changeling.
Obsidian Battle Axe right away, so it attacks as a 6/5
Yeah, well, let's take this, dude. Reigns of the Vine Steed is very interesting, though. I'm glad you pointed that card out.
Ambassador Oak again.
I think we take another Ambassador Oak. This pack doesn't really have much else for us. It's the only green pick remaining. We're definitely mono green. We can probably cut down our in-game a little bit. We probably don't need the Oak Gnarl anymore. We ended up with a pretty good mix of tree folk and elves. I'm not sure what we're cutting yet. Deglamour for the sideboard. It's a 2-mana, essentially disenchant, but it's you choose an artifact or enchantment, and they shuffle it into their library. So a little bit worse because they get the chance to get it back again. But we're going to take it for sideboard.
Against some of the equipment, it's good.
What else can we really hide? Because we don't need this because we're monocolor. Oops, I accidentally did show all. But so we're absolutely a mono green deck, which is cool. We're really not going to have to worry about color. I feel like I don't think it's greedy to say this is a 16-land deck.
Not with double Leaf Gilder.
We've got double Leaf Gilder. We've got ramp. We've got this kind of ramp.
Yeah.
I guess 16 lands. We want to feed our Battle Wand Oaks, but all of our lands feed Battle Wand Oak. This deck is very strong.
We need to go for more than 16.
I have to
out at 5.
I have to admit, I'm surprised we're monocolor. Like it's not like it's the first time I've ever seen it, but aren't you a little bit surprised we're monocolor?
A little, but it can happen. Take out Deglamour.
Definitely can happen. So we still have to Eulogist is out. So we need to cut like one more card actually, and we can play 24.
Can we take out Kithkin Dagger Dare?
Maybe. I do like that card though. I guess it just doesn't interact. Is it a warrior though? At least
maybe soldier. I don't know.
If it's not the right creature, if it's not the right creature type, then I'll take it out. Okay, so we can drop that. You're right. So right now this is the deck I think we'd play. This card can be strong, but it's 7-drop. This thing has flying.
I think the most annoying is Boldrear Intimidator.
Okay. Yeah, we're not going to deal too well with fatties. So we did end up getting a Paragon. I'm happy about that. Does this produce? Yeah, and this produces Warriors, so that works. Got the Banneret now. Actually, just happy to slam that. I don't know if we're...
I don't think it needs to be played.
Everything else is good enough.
Works well with Ambassador Oak
Could
and
maybe,
Battle Wands.
Could maybe, yeah, sideboard the Bogstrider Ash maybe, but I don't know.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? A little more useful as a sideboard card.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't trigger the Winnower Elf either. Everbark Shaman.
Well, neither does the Bosk Banneret.
Playable in here. Yeah, I guess that's true. But it's a 2-drop. Makes our later game cheaper.
Yeah, but
it's not a huge deal. It also makes Game Trail Changeling cheaper.
Yeah.
Which is something to note.
But Bogstrider Ash is Swamp Walk. It's unblockable.
Yeah, that's true. No, I think that's better. And also we already have the double ramp, so it's a little more irrelevant.
Seething Path Blazer. Or Sting Moggy, I guess.
This looks like it can be obnoxious. Not against us, but I guess in general. Deglamored, yeah, alright. What's Luminescent Rain do?
Life gain for permanent.
That's interesting. Okay, so we ended up with pretty good looking deck, I think. Pretty consistent. Tons of creatures.
Monocolor decks are fun to do sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like not having to worry about color issues is like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't leave Warren Scourge Elf in there, did I?
No.
I hope not. I hope not. I'm Italian.
Hey.
Hey, I hope not. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
This deck looks fun. Okay. I'm one short. Where is it? Maybe I did a Warren Scourge Elf in there.
Maybe.
So I can swap it. What was it? Dagger Dares doesn't trigger much, but I'd still really like that. It lets us attack them.
Is a better card to
really?
have.
We can ramp into it.
Two Leaf Gilders.
True, but I like the Dagger Dare just because it makes we can attack with everything at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then makes their blocks really obnoxious.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool with Guilt Leaf Ambush. Attack with both. I don't know. I kind of got a thing for the Dagger Dare, I guess. But what else do we? That's probably good enough. All right, and then we just run 16 forests. Pretty cool. All right, so Hunt Down, Lignify, Bramblewood Paragon, Elvish Warrior, 2 Leaf Gilders, Ren's Run Vanquisher, Kithkin Dagger Dare, Obsidian Battle Axe, 2 Guilt Leaf Ambush, 2 Battle Wand Oak, or 3 Battle Wand Oak, 1 Lizalana Bowmaster, 1 Winnower Patrol, 1 Elvish Promenade, 2 Ambassador Oak, 1 Bogstrider Ash from Briarhorn, 1 Lizalana Huntmaster, 1 Gabe Trail Changeling, 1 Seed Guide Ash. This deck looks fun. Seed Guide Ash looks way fun with Battle Wand Oaks. If you can, we don't have a sack outlet,
Yeah,
so
sadly,
I don't
probably won't be killing it before combat.
Yeah.
Often.
But still very cool. And I think Seed Guide Ash is still good enough for just deck thinning and ramping. Not that we need ramp, I guess, but we really don't need ramp, which is why we're running 16 lands.
It's a 4/4 for 5.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the podcast this week. We'll be back next week for some more Dragon's Maze updates because we're going to be playing. Well, at least I'm going to be playing
standard
standard constructed with Dragon's Maze included, so it'll be interesting to see the impact. Anyway, email me at mortarpod@seemsgoodmagic.com. I have a blog now. I'm blogging. I'm a blogger. So I try to do that as update as much as possible. I want to build sort of like a community of people to build. Jake has experience creating sets. He's done it. I just like the idea. Sometimes I come up with cool ideas and I want to just put them down. So I've come up with a few cards already. I've put one in the blogs. I'd love to hear your feedback on it. Write me. If you want to come up with mechanics and cards, feel free to message me ideas. Even if you don't want to put it in a card box, just message me your idea, and maybe I'll put it in a card box for you and give you a little honorable mention, a little shout out. So, mortarpod@seemsgoodmagic.com. Follow us on Twitter @SeemsGoodMagic. You know when we're live streaming, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Central Time. Some of you dudes have been stopping out. I really appreciate that. keep doing that. We love chatting with you guys, hearing what you want us to do. So Twitter at SeemsGoodMagic, Mortarpod at SeemsGoodMagic.com. Live streaming Tuesdays, Thursdays, 7 p.m. I think that's all I've got. Visit SeemsGoodMagic.com. We're going to have Dragon's Maze pre-release drafts up very as soon as it drops, May 9th. I'm planning on doing it. So see you guys later.
Later.
Have a good one.